pretty horny.
I like having fun. I like to laugh. I like to meet people who can make me laugh.
What's up?
Yes,
I was going to do a parody of Mark's opening, but I can't do it.
No, do it.
What's up, motherfuckers, fuckerinos, fuckadicks, fuckalucks,
Yes.
mucka-fucka-ruckaroos?
Yeah. That's good. Feels good, right?
Yeah! Hey, man! You've
Full Maron impression.
You've heard Urbaniak's impression of you?
Urbaniacs or I know the other guy. Who's that great?
Caliendo? No. Yeah, he's
James.
good. He's good. You like that?
Yeah, sure. I never thought it was possible.
Right.
Because I don't see myself as a guy who's got enough quirks and ticks for
But
people.
you do something long enough, people pick up
kinda,
on the things.
Yeah, he gets it. I haven't seen Urbaniak. He does me?
Oh my!
Oh
I might
my
have to
God,
show you
yeah.
something really. All right, hey, let me just introduce the show. We're live.
Oh my Lord.
Tim Heidecker's Office Hours Live, going 6 years. How long are we on the air for? 6
14?
years? No one knows. No one watches.
8. I think 8.
No one watches?
No. This is one of the lowest rated. I don't know what you're doing here. You
Hey,
should have
that's nothing to shake. That's good. Good for you.
Well, people are really into popularity now.
It's all about your audience, and as long as you got your people, even if it's 9, it's
true.
not nothing.
No, it's true. And we have a dedicated, wonderful following. But, people saying,
I'm sorry about the panicky email yesterday.
I loved it. Can I talk about that real quick?
I know. I'll explain to you why I sent it.
Let me access my Gmail here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Let me just welcome my guests here.
Yeah.
My
Introduce everybody.
comrades.
Do what you do.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got Doug Loosenhoff
Good horning.
and Vic Berger here.
What's up, everybody?
I'm so nervous.
I'm hyped up from the coffee.
And
I'm nervous. Yeah, I'm nervous.
What are you nervous about?
Having Mr.
the
Maron in the room.
Podfather.
Apparently, I do know you. I think you did a Trump montage.
Yes, I've done a few of those.
Yeah,
Yes,
that
yes.
I talked about publicly.
Yes, thank you.
Excited about it.
Thank you.
WTF.
you know who else loves you is Joe Rogan.
Oh, he does.
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
Does he?
Yeah.
Big fan.
He's a big. The funny thing is, Joe Rogan is a big fan of like Tim and Eric.
Yeah.
And Doug's work and Vic's
DJ
work.
Douggpound.
Of course, not a two-way street.
No.
DJ Douggpound's cool as fuck, smart as hell. One of the coolest
Did you
people
see
I
my
know.
Rogan parody?
I did. I loved
Okay,
it. It was great.
No,
Yeah.
I never got a text about it.
I'm
just kidding.
Well,
I'm just kidding.
There's a strange history to me, and like you know me, and we've known each other for years
Yeah.
to some degree. And there was a time where you booked me on the show.
On this show.
Yes, I must have been towards the beginning because this is what's been going on a few weeks. And I, then you canceled me. You said, "Do you want? Can we rebook it?" So in my mind,
It was because of like my schedule. It was not because I was not interested in having.
well, no.
it.
Here's what my brain does. It's like, who bumped me? What fucking what guest did he get? So that stuck for a long time, and I'm like, I'm
Sorry.
not doing because I have a weird. Go ahead.
Well,
This will all come from the email. I'll explain to you the situation.
Berger makes a bunch of very funny internet videos.
Oh, this is
Turn 'em
okay.
off.
Play that again so
What?
Mark can hear it.
Vic Berger makes a bunch of very funny internet videos. Vic Berger smash cuts fucking hilarious.
So that's Joe talking
Thanks,
about.
Joe.
it.
Yeah,
He loves
good.
it.
Let's not give him any air.
So
DJ
Matt
Douggpound.
here, producer Matt, who you've been interfacing with more than me. I try to
Yeah.
stay out of the
Yeah.
mucky
But then
muck.
you got in though. You jumped in.
I
Last
did,
night.
and I'll tell you.
Producer
We'll
Matt?
play by play this. We'll
Yeah.
go minute by minute.
Okay.
So my brain is like, everybody we book is not going to show.
Really?
I just feel like, why would
This is,
you?
you're 10 minutes away from me. It's
true.
It's like the great. I could come over every day.
Uh-oh.
Here we go.
No, we're going to get, but I always think something's going to happen.
Yeah.
You're going to realize, I don't really feel like doing this.
Yeah.
But you're not like that. You're
No.
you're a man of your word. But so then last night, let's see, 7 o'clock, Matt and I get an email. This is all it says. Well, actually, Matt writes, says, looking forward to tomorrow. Here's the address. Blah,
Right,
blah,
right,
blah.
right.
Very responsible. And I appreciate that, Matt.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I would appreciate it too if I'm you, like if somebody checking in.
Like sometimes
and-
I forget things.
Sure.
Like, because I don't have an assistant because I'm a regular person. And
You're not a regular person.
but yeah, so something's I'm just sort of like, oh shit, I was supposed to.
Right. So Matt says that, then you respond pretty quickly. I'd say
Yeah.
20 minutes later from the iPhone, because that's at the bottom. It says sent from my iPhone. It says, this is all it says. What's going to happen? What's expected? That's a heavy email to get.
You want to know the backstory on that?
Yeah.
So what happens is, like, back when you were in the Beatles, with Tim, with Eric. I always appreciated what you did, but I always felt that there was a meta thing going on. So anytime I engage with anything with Tim and Eric,
you feel like you're going to be the joke or something.
Right. I always feel like I've told you this before, that there's going to be a joke happening, and I don't know that I'm part of it. And then lately I've realized, well, that's the genius of those guys, is that's what life is, man. So I hadn't really watched the show in its entirety, so I thought, I just want to know what I'm walking into, and how goofy would I have to be.
So rather... Right. Yeah. Go ahead. So rather than actually watch the show, you just emailed.
Watch it. I did watch it.
But did you email? Did you watch?
No, I watched after. I realized because of something. Because of my Ben Kingsley experience, I'm like, what kind of person doesn't research the show he's going to be on? And I realized
that was funny because I did listen to the Ben Kingsley this morning. Doug Doug does a little research too, and he says, "I hear this one's a doozy."
Yeah.
So can I just read what I wrote back?
Yes.
Because I didn't feel Matt was. I didn't trust Matt to write
to handle Maron.
To handle Maron.
No, I wouldn't have had a good answer.
This was a great email from me, I believe.
Yeah, I think so. It was. It comforted me.
Did it really? It calmed you down.
Wow. Yeah.
We expect. This is a beautiful way to begin.
Yeah.
We expect nothing but your presence and wit. I meant to say presence, like you'd bring me something like a WTF mug.
Matt's a really, really.
It's just
nice
a live
guy.
morning show hang.
Yeah, live morning show hang. So then I was expecting, like, maybe there'll be a guy with donuts there.
Sam?
Oh, shoot.
I don't want to do
We'll talk about you and your special and whatever else comes up.
It's very nice.
Definitely want to talk about music with you.
Yeah.
You can inspect my guitars and rate them. I don't know.
Sure.
They're behind there. You want to pick one, Vic?
Like a hobo and a ham sandwich.
Well, throughout the show, we'll pick a guitar for you to inspect. Anyways.
Well, I thought that was very nice, and I think it's a testament to our evolving relationship that I didn't feel like that email. I felt it was earnest. I didn't feel like I was being set up.
Nice. Well, I'm growing. I'm changing like everybody.
Yeah. I feel like that. Look at that one.
Yes, we have a long history.
I think I have one of these. Oh,
well, that's not the best one to show. I mean, it's just a '96 Les Paul Standard.
Wow.
Is that a good year for these?
Oh, it's the best. No,
Really?
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't know enough about guitars.
I just started playing Gibsons, really. I was like a Fender guy my whole life.
We can get you a Fender.
No,
problem.
that's all right. I like Gibsons. I've been playing Gibsons a lot.
All right, can we do something?
I took a guitar lesson recently.
I saw that online. You did from your guitar player that you play with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I took a guitar lesson because I needed, like, I've been bending the same notes for like all my life.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty good at those notes, but I'm like, what about these Mixolydian scales?
The Jerry
scales, right?
Yeah.
And he showed me them, and I'm like, oh my god! And
Do you remember what? Because I learned that too, actually, recently.
And the blue note, the blue note?
Yeah, well, I know pentatonics pretty good. I know major and minor pentatonics, right? And then you drop down, like I know where the country pentatonic is for A and stuff. But then, like, the A Mixolydian is right there. Right. It's basically that country pentatonic with a couple of flat sevens added or something. Right?
I think so.
Yeah.
He went to music
I did go to
school.
Berkeley.
He went to Berkeley.
You went to Berkeley?
Yeah, but it's been a while, so I'm trying to remember. Mixolydian is like from the 5, I believe, or the 4. I don't remember.
I don't know
It's been so
theory
long.
at all, but I just know I wanted new notes.
Right.
Yeah.
And he gave me new notes. And that Jerry stuff turns out it's just these runs that once you do, it's like it's not. I'm not gonna say it's easy,
Right.
but I know where it is.
Well, you
now.
know what my guitar player said to me on tour last year? He goes, you're always one note away from the right note.
Right. Yeah. Just hang a little bit.
You can always go
and then
work
you can
around
figure-
you.
I mean, isn't it?
Right.
What do you mean? There's hidden notes? They're all right there. Just one fret. You go one fret down.
We don't want to hit. You don't want to hit clams, as Buddy
Jerry
Rich said.
does.
Do you ever play like non-bluesy kind of stuff? Do you ever play like
It doesn't
major...
satisfy me.
No, it doesn't. Okay.
It doesn't, like, even when I listen to, like, I've been trying to listen to, like, this morning. This was a harried morning, dude.
Tell me about
like,
your morning.
Well, I knew I had to be here at 9:45. I knew it was 11 minutes away, and then I set my clock for 7 because I just get up early. And then I'm like, when am I going to get the gym in? Because I'm compulsive about it now, about exercise. And so I set it for 7. I'm like, my plan was I was going to do the gym after this. I was going to come in gym clothes because I thought that would be fitting.
I'm going to do the gym after this, by the way.
Yeah, but like I got a fridge guy that's been trying to fix my refrigerator for a long time.
I got a fridge guy.
Yeah, fridge guy's supposed to come, but he's been keeping me hanging for a while. But anyway,
What's happened to all your food?
It's okay. The fridge is working.
Okay.
I just got when I have free time on my hands and I'm just trying to write stuff. I end up getting very obsessed with dumb shit in my house, everywhere. Like I just need. It's an old fridge. And I don't even use the ice that much, but I need the ice maker to work. It's making funny noise. So I get up and I'm like, do I have time for the gym? It's 7, and I'm like, well, if I get down there, so somehow or another, I went to the gym. I got home, fed the cats, took a shower, had a piece of toast. And I got here at 9:42.
You got up at 7 and did all that?
Yeah.
Where's the gym? It's got to be close.
It's right down there.
Please tell me it's close.
It's right there. Yeah, it's
you
5
can
minutes
walk to
away.
there?
Almost.
Okay.
Like this is the nice
If you
part. I never
walked-
come to this side of Glendale. This is where the fancy people live.
Oh.
I'm down there with the working people.
The hard hats.
Don't dox me, Mark. All right. Let's take a call because I don't know. I don't think we're not live, are we?
No, not at all.
I like Mark.
Am I
was
on
very
camera?
Early. I thought that was like. I like
You're
that.
on camera, yeah.
Oh, I am because all I see is Tim. Is that what you want me to see?
If you want to see yourself.
Oh, there
it
I
could be
am.
arranged.
But you don't want to.
I just want to see my hair because things are happening.
I want to play Mark that Urbaniac video.
Of me? Is he
Yeah.
doing me?
Well,
Yeah.
this was I don't know.
Have I
Do
seen
that,
it?
or do you want to talk to somebody?
I do want to
first?
talk to somebody first.
Let's talk to Lila. Lila, what do you have to say?
I love the sound of the electric guitar not plugged in.
Oh, what do I have to say?
Well, you raised your hand, yeah.
Well, yeah, I wanted to know like what Mark likes to put on his toast.
Oh God.
Oh, well, see, like here's my
This
my
is how the
eating
show
thing.
grinds to a halt.
No, this is important stuff. You know what? Oddly, Tim.
Yeah.
This is the stuff that people hold on to.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
you can speculate and give your big ideas, but you talk toast, you
Yeah.
can get 90 emails. Oh, I love that toast.
All right, let's break some news.
Well, usually what I like to do is I'll do oatmeal with walnuts because I've been vegan lately. I need my my good oils. But if I'm in a hurry, I'll do a piece of like Dave's bread, just like slathered with almond butter that I grind myself at Whole Foods, and then I put some no sugar fruit spread and a bit of that fancy Malden salt on top.
Okay, I like
yeah.
that's very specific. Dave's Killer Bread. Isn't that guy? He murdered someone, right? Then he started a bread company.
What are you gonna judge people? The guy makes bread. You know what I mean? You can't let go of the little stuff.
Yeah, Doug,
I just want to
you
get the
might wanna check-
backstory.
Doug,
He's
you-
on this. Did you buy it because he's playing guitar on the bread?
No, I think we promoted it once, and I tried it, and I was like,
good
and
bread.
I'm not a big bread guy. All this because of the vegan thing, I'm eating a lot more starch than I used to, and it's very hard for me because I have an eating disorder. But look, that's what I eat. Is that? Do you want more information?
Doug, you might want to look into
Blueberries,
where
too,
your
sometimes.
you might not want to look into where your license plates come from.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I don't know what his backstory is. I know he did something, but I think it's like that homeboy industries too. Like do you believe that people can be rehabilitated? Do you think Dave should be dead?
He has great bread.
All right.
I'm just wondering if you knew the backstory.
I don't think it's in great taste to, if you did kill somebody, to name your company Dave's Killer Bread.
Did he actually kill someone?
Well, that's what I heard.
he
He
didn't
killed
murder
someone, then he calls his bread Killer Bread.
He didn't murder anyone.
All right, I'm sure our audience knows. What about you? What do you like on your toast? See, I'm engaging with the audience.
Nice.
Lila.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I like to switch it up. I do like to put some, like jam, maybe like a raspberry.
Yeah. Sometimes I do the vegan cream cheese now.
So when did you go
cashew
vegan?
cream cheese?
When did you go plant-based?
Are you
one of those guys that like makes fun of you for that?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. See,
Look at this, fucking vegan.
Rogan's rubbing off on him.
yeah.
I'm only eating organ meat for 3
what's the
meals
guy-
a day.
Rob Schneider over here.
So no, I don't want to be too specific, but I went in for a colonoscopy and I realized that, oh my God, there's nothing in me. Why not only put good things in now? So I tried the vegan thing.
What do you mean there's nothing? Oh, you mean when you
gotta,
did
like,
the fast.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not a fast. It's like a rootering. You just drink this stuff. I don't know why people do juice fasts when that stuff's available.
Right.
But also I wanted to see if I could get my cholesterol numbers down. They're not too high, but they were a little high, and I wanted to see how much was genetic and how much was just eating.
Right.
So I went vegan for like a week, and it went down like a lot.
Really?
Yeah. And then I was on a little bit of, this is old guy talk, a little bit of statin, and then I got off that, and it was still down low enough for me not to have to use medication, so I just stuck with it. I like it. I don't mind it. I've eaten enough
What's your
meat.
blood pressure situation?
Very good.
Very good. Always been very good?
Yes. The blood pressure is not a problem.
I have a high blood pressure problem. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You're all right?
You guys, I
do have
googled
it,
it.
This is a morning show.
Dave's Killer Bread. He didn't kill anyone.
Yeah,
it was a
thank
rumor,
you.
but he
Oh,
did
okay.
go to
Big
prison.
old waste of time that was.
And he was at armed robbery and stuff.
All right.
This is out of tune.
Now,
Where's the roadie?
Thanks, Lila.
Do you ever get sucked into buying those like Instagram guitar products? Like there's one that's like a automatic tuner.
No.
There's a
I
there's
don't
a
do
new
it.
one that's like a wireless system.
No. None of that.
good,
I
good.
don't even use pedals.
Oh, you got to get some pedals.
I got a ton of pedals. Earthquaker used to send me all kinds of pedals,
Right.
but it's just then it's like a job to figure out what pedal and what
Yes,
for.
what the
and
route,
knobs.
what the chain should
I go
be.
right into an old tube amp and then just make just.
Plug you into my Princeton over there.
I need a Princeton. This is not an old one though, is it?
That's a repro,
It's good.
but it's good. Yeah, it's.
I have a 1953 Deluxe, a little wild, weird little thing, and then I have an old Champ, and then I have a like a sort of reissue of a later Deluxe. But the Prince, I have a Blues Junior, which is similar to
Blues
this.
Junior
I
is
had
good. We
that.
had that one in last week. We had a great artist. What's his name? Corey Hansen.
Yeah.
You'd like him.
I like the Blues Junior, but I want one of these.
All right, I got to do.
Thank you for the
bit of
question. I hope
got to
that
do a
was,
bit of
helpful.
business here.
What do you?
Right?
You got business? You
We
throw
have-
into an ad?
We do a fake ad.
Oh,
Oh, you
For comedy.
oh, we're doing comedy. It's a comedy show.
It's a comedy show.
I hear what
Sound effect.
City of the day.
All right, this is called the City of the Day. Very unpopular part of the show, where we find out who is the City of the Day. What is the City of the Day? The City of the Day is sponsored by. Ready for this?
Yeah.
This is humor.
Yeah,
Snorin' Blow Burp.
nice.
It's a new product. Snorin' Blow Burp. Is snoring a problem in your household?
It kind of is.
Is it?
Yeah, I make my girlfriend sleep in the other room.
Okay, we'll get into that.
Wait, she snores or you
Is
snore?
snoring a problem in your household? Have you tried the pills, creams, mouth guards, and gases, but nothing seems to solve the terrible issue? Well, before you get a divorce or install that soundproof chamber, try Snorin' Blow Burp, the snore dampening syrup from Congresswoman Laura Boebert. Oh, okay. I get it.
Yeah.
See, I don't read these
Over,
ahead of time.
Yeah. No, it's good to do
Just-
it cold.
Yeah.
Because then you can enjoy it
Exactly.
in real time.
Just drink a pint of this miracle liquid before bedtime, and as you sleep, the thick sap will turn your snores into quiet burp bubbles. The coolest part, when you wake up, your bedroom will be filled with playful balloons that you created while you slept. Seems hard to believe.
That's funny.
Snoring. Oh, you hear that? Can we get an isolated "that's funny" from you for later use?
Hold on. That's funny.
Thank you. So every morning, each order. Great news. Each. Okay.
You're,
Great
you're radio pro here. That's right. They'll fix it in post.
Yeah,
You're
but-
okay.
We're not live.
Tighten that up.
Each order of 80 pints or more will receive a free assault rifle. This is political. This is a biting satire. we
Loaded.
got here.
It's loaded.
Limit 5 per household. So turn these snores into bubbles, save your family, and rekindle your relationship with Snorin' Blow Burp from Lauren Boebert. Order today by visiting jasonsnores.gov/final marriage solution.
I like that the professional approach is this, is that you're reading it like a radio vet
Yeah.
who is just doing his job.
Right.
Like, you know, like that with that detachment.
Yes,
as if
yeah. What was that? There was a. I'll just finish
It
this.
has deep character work there.
Now
Like
I
it-
will
As his
suffer-
interest diminishes throughout the ad.
Now I will suffer. So this is. Now I will suffer for 18 seconds while I listen to. Take two. Now I will suffer for 18 seconds while I listen to Doug's jingle.
Oh shit! Wait.
You're not plugged
Wrong
in.
Well, you know what? No, it's
Joke's
these-
on you.
No, it's this
Oh, no.
new.
That's good.
It's not a jingle. It's a first song.
That's the whole song.
Seems like it.
What kind of glasses are those?
I think they're from one of those cheap places, Pane glasses.
Are they really?
Or
Is it
Zenny.
cheapos?
Pain glasses. That's
Cheapos,
kind of
yeah.
neat.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Now we have our city of the day.
Oh, and who is the
Nathan.
city of the day?
It is Irvine, California. Can you hear me, folks?
Yeah, Irvine, California.
worst.
Great. I
Ugh.
mean, what a bummer.
Are we doing? Won't even
What
work.
a
there.
bummer. Beautifully sunny. By the way, happy Go Skateboarding Day, everybody.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, you didn't promo that. Were you supposed to promo that?
Yeah, let me take this back to the top. Happy Go Skateboarding Day.
Yeah, now
Yeah, as long as you don't do it on my lawn or in front of my house.
Oh shit!
I know.
Sound
I
like
have
you're
these
from
kids that
Irvine.
they're doing graffiti in front of my house, and they're skateboarding, and they're causing trouble, smoking and chewing gum.
I've been to Irvine a couple of times, and I just don't understand it. I used to I maybe worked that improv once. Nobody came, and I
Why
was
is
like,
it there?
"Why?" It's in that mall, and I'm like, "What do people do here?"
Spectrum.
It just seems like what?
We moved here from DC. Tim, I was at your show in DC. You actually retweeted me because I was really perturbed that at the show in DC that it was at that church, Nashville Community Church, was an anti-gay church.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm actually a progressive Christian pastor. I moved out here to serve a church that does same-sex weddings and loves everybody.
Is there protests at your church?
There have been. There's been vandalism. There's been Trumpies out there protesting. But we'll be at OC Pride this weekend.
How about this? How about this protest at Dodger Stadium? Did you see this yesterday?
About
We have to keep our country gay.
Wow.
The Sisters of, what are they called?
Yeah, what are they called? They've been
Sisters
around
of
forever.
Discrepancy? Of Disgrace?
Perpetual. What is it? Yeah.
Perpetual disgrace.
I like perpetual disgrace, but perpetual indulgence? Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Indulgence. That's it.
So these dopey Catholics come out and they've got no backbone. They can't take a little goofing around.
Not anymore.
Can't have any fun.
It's like, I mean, they used to. They all used to be able to take it, but now they just decided they've had enough and they have traction.
Yeah.
And so we all got to deal with fascism. I hope it goes well for you at the church.
Yeah, I mean, at what point do you just like, you can't call yourself the word Christian anymore, because what that means has been so polluted. See, this is where
this is heavy stuff.
This is heavy stuff.
That's a great. I actually have a very diverse congregation, but there are some folks in my church who would say, no, I'm atheist. I'm not agnostic. I'm not a Christian. I have a couple members who are Jews, consider themselves practicing Jews. It is
not in my house.
Are you the only house of prayer in the area? I mean, are they like, well, let's just go somewhere? That
like
guy seems like doesn't have a lot of rules.
It's like Little House on the Prairie, where they have just the church that's also the school, and
exactly.
It's like,
I'm not ashamed to admit that I'm a Christian.
Well, you're exuding a good energy. I believe that you're helping people. I feel it.
Are you headed to the skate park?
I'm new here, so it's only been 3 months. So
you're gonna get run out of town.
Skate park.
Yeah.
And we're not the only progressive church around, but it is a tough place. Orange County, it's like the red curtain right out here. It's like it's a.
Now, do you find that there's it's pretty bad up there? It was like that's the seat of a lot of the bad Republicans, but do you find that you're competing with the other progressive church? You're sort of like, what'd they do over there? Well, we got to get on it.
We're going to get more progressive.
No, I think we're actually we consider ourselves on the same team. And
good.
Every church is a little bit different, but no, we're definitely competing against the mega churches, against the folks who put on their websites that marriage is between one man and one woman, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So,
what do you guys do? So, do you have service every Sunday?
Sure, and we need a musician, Tim. We need you to come out.
Me and Mark will go down there.
We'll go. We got to learn some hymns.
Sure.
But let me ask you this, because I grew up in the Catholic faith, and what was nice about the Catholic Mass is there's like structure to it. It's like you know what you're getting every week.
There's all kinds of robes and smoke.
Yeah, and there's a part where you kneel, a part where you stand, and it's pretty much the same deal.
Total
it's
witchcraft.
The same show.
Total witchcraft.
But then there's the sermon, which is different every week. But in your Sunday service, is there a structure to it, or is it just a mess?
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Yeah. There's a structure to it.
Is there nudity?
It's a pretty common kind of Protestant thing. No nudity yet.
The production of hair?
I mean, our booth this weekend at OC Pride is going to be kind of diagonal to the leather tent. I'm just ready. I don't know what that
leather
is.
Leather tent seems heavy.
I have a feeling this is going to be this is the last week this church is going to be open because of this appearance.
Easy.
Maybe.
What's your name, Pastor? What's the name of the church? I should get my congregation to go to here.
Yeah,
I have to just start a church at this point, I think.
Church of the Foothills.
Church of the Foothills, North Tustin or Santa Ana, or an unincorporated. But I actually do have a question for y'all.
All right.
And I appreciate Tim.
Well, you're not originally from D.C.
Northern Virginia.
I'm from Oklahoma. Oklahoma Bible Belt.
Wow, what city?
From Anadarko, Oklahoma.
That can't be good. I don't know the name of the city in Oklahoma.
Country.
You just assume that's got to be bad.
Exactly.
If it's not Tulsa or Oklahoma City, oh shit.
Yeah, you're way down the dirt road.
Okay.
What's the question? Yeah. And then we have to.
The question is all right, I know you have to move on, and I appreciate it. I appreciate both of you. I love the podcast, Mark, too.
Thanks.
I do want to promote your podcast
I'm coming from the East Coast.
Yeah.
Since I'm coming from the East Coast, I'm coming out here.
Yeah.
I need to find a good deli, a good Reuben sandwich. Where can I go?
Most of them are gone, dude. Like, the weird thing about the old delis is that when the old Jews died, there's no way to turn over that meat because the next generation's not that interested in it. But I don't know where it would be in Orange County. Some people like Langer's here in LA.
I was going to say Langer's. I wasn't going to do a whole monologue. I was just going to say Langer's.
But you brought me in. I talk for a living.
Forgiveness, please, sir.
But no, I usually like Cantor's because of the atmosphere. And
Cantor's is no good, right?
Well, I don't know. It goes in and out.
dirty.
I'm not sure what's going on with the meat, but I like sitting there and it's open late. So if you're going to drive down from Orange County and you want a Reuben at 1 a.m, go to Cantor's. But I'm not going to say it's good.
I'd go to Langer's. Langer's is really, really great.
And you're going to call Cantor's dirty? Jesus, Langer's is like.
What about Jersey Mike's?
What?
That's deli, right?
Nate Now's still has a place.
Mark, have you been to that new vegan deli in
Highland Park on New York? I haven't tried it yet.
It's good.
Yeah, it's just takeout, right? I did buy some vegan corned beef, and it's
some of that vegan
weird.
stuff is worse for you, almost like
They say that, but it's not really.
No,
I mean, they say like don't eat the processed stuff.
Yeah, the big
Be
meat
careful.
likes to tell you it's
big
bad
meat does.
Yeah.
All right,
Anyways.
I'm going to play you this clip.
Thanks
now.
for the question. I hope we helped out.
Thanks.
Sorry, I'm
James
detaching.
Urbaniak.
I am saying goodbye to your I'm being the polite guy. Thanks for chiming in. What do we got?
All right.
Yeah.
James Urbaniak did this a couple years ago after the trailer for a movie you were in about David Bowie. Did you just see this?
Yeah.
Did you see it?
The movie? No.
No.
Oh, the trailer.
You didn't see the movie. You knew. You
I
can see this?
don't think I did.
This is so fucking good.
Am I going to see it?
Yeah.
Nationality? Young American.
Watch this.
Your bloody records aren't bloody selling, so we want you to go to America and campaign for Nixon's re-election. He's courting the youth vote and it'll raise your profile. But is Nixon for the war?
We are about to begin our descent into the United States of America. Richard Nixon, President.
David Bowie, I presume. I'm Mark. Welcome to the garage. That's what I call America. It's like a big garage. A lot of stuff, land of opportunity, and second chances. Nixon's president, and 10 years ago they said he was all washed up. Edmund Muskie's got a lot of the young voters, so we'd like you to write a campaign song.
Is that it? No.
Nixon now. Nixon now. Okay, this is an American diner radio station. Nixon country. Don't pull any hippie stuff. So who do you like in 72? Well, I guess I'm a Muskie man. Muskie's out, man. You know why? Because he's a crybaby, just like you. Just like you.
This music.
South Dakota Senator George McGovern is the new Democratic nominee.
McGovern's toast. Who do you support now? Maybe I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. Maybe I'm just me.
That's great.
Yeah.
Someone named John Dean called and says you broke a contract with Nixon. What the hell are you doing, David?
What you doing, David?
This guy works so hard on
Independents don't
being
win
David.
elections, you stupid geezer. This one does. We all wear different masks. We all wear different hats. My name is David Bowie, and I'm running for president.
Right,
got as much
that's so
funny. Yeah, it's
right?
funny. That movie it looks good, really.
But you never saw it.
No, I saw it.
Oh, okay.
I was kidding.
Sometimes you don't. Do you see everything you're in?
I don't think so. What haven't I seen that I'm in? No, I think so. I don't do that much. I tend to watch what I'm in.
What are you like on set when you do these things? People ask you to. Are you?
He's a Kingsley.
Like, do you feel?
Exactly. I'm like.
Do you?
This is not what I asked for.
You come prepared. You come knowing your lines.
I mean, as after doing I entered as an actor. I knew it would take some time to figure it out, but I did my show on IFC that not many people watch. So I kind of got the hang of everything, all different areas of it. And I think you learn how you're going to approach it. I mean, I come prepared, sure, but I also know if we're going to do like 2 pages, in the day
Yeah.
that I can work on it when I get there and I'll have plenty of time to polish up.
Yeah.
You know, like generally on set, I just try to, like I was just in Canada for a thing. I just shaved my beard off. I just did I did 2 scenes in this movie in Calgary. I'm going to play Alan Berg, who was the Denver talk show host that got gunned down in the 80s by the Nazi guys. It's a movie about the order.
I don't know that story.
Oh yeah,
but
that's
I will
what
when I
talk
see the
radio is
movie.
based on. Is the story of Alan Berg.
Sure. Eric Bogosian.
Yeah, but
Right.
Berg was a real guy. He was in Denver, and the Order was the first sort of Nazi American terrorist group in the 80s out of Washington State, and they just gunned this guy down in his driveway. So I play him, and I get shot, and then I play him on the mics. But
this is a movie about him, and you're playing.
No, it's
him.
about the Order. It's about I'm only in it to get shot.
Right.
But they're going to use it. Jude Law is producing it. He's in it. I didn't see him though. That's the funny thing is when you do small parts in movies, you're like, you could be working with Jude Law.
Not really.
Never saw him.
No.
I think he was
Just
there.
see him on the red carpet.
Yeah.
But I heard a good piece of advice the other day. I was doing something with Jason Schwartzman. I love
Very nice
this
guy.
guy.
Yeah.
And he's just funny and smart.
Yeah.
And we're doing this little thing. And he's like, you know what I do? I approach everything I do. It's like the first time I'm on a movie set.
Yeah.
Like I just don't. Just try not to act like I know what's supposed to happen.
So does the same aggravated boredom happen in the trailer? Like
You've done those
every
things where
time?
you get there and you're like, all right, well, here's your trailer. Your stuff is hung up, and there's something for you to sign.
Yeah.
And we'll be right back.
Like
and then
9
4
hours
hours
later.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also those trailers, and like this is such, I'm not even being a diva, but it's like, do they make the seating in there uncomfortable on purpose? It's just these leather covered that you can't sleep on it.
There's no way, you can't lie down or
sit in
stand.
it.
Yeah.
I don't need this shit.
Yeah, exactly. Is that
All
me?
right, all right, so let's do this.
Yeah.
We've got drops of you through the years
Yeah.
that these guys abuse.
Yeah.
I've been holding off on.
Let's see if you can identify the context of the
There's
drops.
no way that's going to happen. I barely remember yesterday.
Well, let's try.
All right.
All right,
I'm
then
not a
give us-
huge fan.
All right.
That's every episode.
Try that again.
I don't know who I was talking
I mean,
about.
the
I had
truth
to be,
is, I don't even know the context of these.
Oh, was
either.
that a new one?
I think so. Yeah.
Because do you get the bonus content? Because I did say that about
We don't
somebody.
get the bonus. Believe
Oh,
me. I'm just kidding.
I mean, I would say that's got to be about Seinfeld or somebody.
Interesting. I think we were going to ask you. He's not done the show?
He has.
Who he has? Okay.
It was the weirdest thing. It was like the first show after like Lynn died. Out of all the people that
so
I'm still like
recent.
I'm kind of shattered and I do Seinfeld on
Why
Zoom.
are you upset about this?
Well, yeah. Well, he was very polite, but I don't know why he did it because he doesn't particularly like me.
Right.
But there was a moment where where he basically his whole idea, the principle of comedy is like it means nothing. You get the laughs.
Yeah.
It's not attached to anything.
Right.
You're not saying anything. So this is his line.
Yeah.
And
it's a thesis of life.
That's
almost.
right.
Yeah.
But I said I can't agree with that. And he's like, and he kind of goes like, I think we knew this was going to happen.
Yeah.
But like I think it's disingenuous, and I think he's lying because he goes out of his way to say I've never learned anything from a comedian.
Yeah.
It's not emotional, and it's just crazy.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
crazy. And
Yeah.
then you realize throughout the course of that interview is that both his parents were orphans, so neither one of them had parents. So this guy, is built. He's built by this energy
Right.
that is sort of all walled up. He's probably deeply,
Repressed.
angry.
Yeah.
And look, I can't take any. I'm not the only guy to say this. Like, look, as a craftsman, you can't deny Seinfeld's craft. His joke craft is so solid.
Yeah.
But I just never. I actually never engaged, and I've tried with his comedy. It doesn't move me.
Yeah.
There's
There's an
people-
awareness of how clever it can be.
It almost feels like he's in denial, though, of like wanting to talk about his parents. And
He made a
upbringing,
movie about
right?
fucking Pop-Tarts.
Yeah.
I don't even
Right.
know what it is.
And, yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
like, that's something
Right.
you would
Right.
have written.
Yeah,
That's like,
As a
that should be a
joke.
Tim and Eric sketch.
As a joke.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Ironically.
All right, give me another one. Give me the classic.
How's your toe?
Oh, that's just stuff I say at the beginning.
Is your kid all right?
Yeah.
What
I
about-
do all these things where I just ask people. And it's
Right.
odd. I get emails from like, it's so weird because I was getting my toe worked on by a podiatrist right when you said that.
How's that thing on your neck?
Yeah.
That's a good one.
It's a classic.
So wait, let's talk about this Ben Kingsley interview because
Oh,
last
yeah.
night Doug sent a text in he said I heard this one's a doozy.
Oh, yeah.
And man, oh man, what a funny fucking thing to listen
This is
to.
Little Peppino.
Do you want to set it up? I mean, people listen. You can listen to the show.
Yeah, well,
'cause
I
you
mean,
set it up
some people
nicely.
get, like, most people are on my side, almost everybody, in that, you know, I just felt fundamentally, it was weird because I've been thinking about it a lot, is that he came in, and I don't know, you know, like, you know, he's Ben Kingsley, there's plenty to talk about, and I'm going to do my show. But his publicist shows up first, and then, you know, he walks into my house, and he just had this look of, and I know the look. It was just sort of this sort of like, what the fuck is this?
Right.
You know, I'm like, fine. I've dealt with that before. It's like, we're at his house. Like, you know, Jessica Chastain came over, and I don't know if they don't know or if it's not that, they're not informed, but Chastain came over, and she's like, oh, this is your house? And I'm like,
Yeah. And there's a novel kind of, oh, this is great.
Well, the old house was crazy because you couldn't avoid it. In the old house, the original garage was cluttered with stuff.
Been there twice, I think.
Yeah, and it was great. And there's one bathroom, you know, in the house.
Yeah.
But like Kingsley, right away, I could feel it locked down. Like I felt that there was something seething, you know, right away. And then, like, you know, I said, do you need anything? And then I let the publicist sit in the house, and then we're walking around to the garage, and he points out you know, I planted some lavender. He's like, that's English lavender. I'm like, I don't know. He's like, it is.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. So, like, you know, or no, French lavender, sorry. And then we get into the place, into the garage, into the studio. I tell him where to sit. He's like, can I have water? And I'm like, yeah. And
Sure.
you know, flat, sparkling, cold. Yeah. He's like, flat's fine. And I bring a can of Liquid Death because that's what I have. I have like 50 cases. I don't even promote Liquid Death.
Right.
But they keep sending it to me.
Yeah.
So I don't want to stop it. So I have literally 50 cases.
Yeah.
So I bring out the can. He's like, do you have a glass? And I'm like, yeah.
Here we go.
So right. So I'm like, do I go into the house? I don't have glasses. I have some mugs out here. So I go in the kitchen of the studio. I'm like, is a mug okay? He's like, yes. And it's like, in my mind, like that was the turning point.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like, I think that the turning point was somewhere far back in his childhood. But nonetheless, I hung it on the mug.
Yes.
So,
I gave him the mug. And then I tried to sort of be candid about what Chastain, you know, said about the story that she'd ran into him at an airport. And he gave her some advice about going to India. And I bring it up, and he's like, no.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I don't remember it. Twice.
I don't recall.
I said, really?
Yeah, he's freezing
Twice.
you out.
Totally. And I'm like, all right, this is how it's going to be.
No.
Now, I've had that experience. I had that experience with Neil Young, to be honest with you. Like, I know.
What the hell's going on in England?
Oh, sorry.
Right. So,
that was an accident.
So they, you know, that they're putting this off. Like, you know, I'm not going to do this with you. I'm not going to, we're not going to, you know, you're going to have to work for it, or I don't even want to fucking be here.
Right.
Whatever it is. And Neil, I didn't know Neil was difficult with interviews, right? But Neil had come, there was a beautiful moment with Neil because, you know, like I'm a Neil Young fan, like everybody is, but I'm not crazy. And it's always better for me with that I don't fanboy out. It's better for the fans if I just have respect for them. I don't know.
You learn quickly that within seconds of meeting anybody, they just become a person.
Yes, if
Right?
you're hoping that.
Yeah.
But so Neil comes in. Neil shows up with this posse, and they're all in their 70s. You know, he had a manager, Elliot, and there was another guy in there.
Elliot
just
Roberts.
white. He passed away. But they're just white-haired dudes, and he was promoting the Pomo player.
Oh man!
And they had sent me. They'd sent me a Pomo player and special headphones.
Toblerone.
Yeah, right. It looked like that. But the headphones were fancy, and I was told that you're going to have to return those on the day when they come. And I'm like, fine. So I packed them up, and I'm ready to return them. So I'm with these two fucking old guys, and then Neil comes, and he walks into my that old house.
Yeah.
He sees my records. He sees my old Gibson guitar, and he's like, and he goes over and he starts playing my guitar, and he just takes it in.
Yeah.
He takes it in my house, and I say, well, here's the stuff, you guys. And Neil goes, you can keep it. And I'm like, oh, great, I'm in.
Yeah.
Right, so then he comes out to the garage, and I figure I'm going to start with amps because I know he plays old Fender amps, and I got an old Fender amp. So I'm going to kind of break the ice with that. And I go like, yeah, I've been using this old Deluxe. You probably know what that is. He's like, I don't. And I'm like, God damn.
All right, another angle.
Yeah, exactly. But I eventually got him laughing, and it was over nicotine lozenges, oddly.
Right.
You know, he just popped right open. He had a great time.
Right.
And apparently he went and did an interview at his house with Dan Rather.
I know. I've seen those Dan Rather interviews.
But he apparently walked in because my producer's got a buddy who works on that show.
Yeah.
And Neil walked in from my interview in his house, said, I just did an amazing interview. Did a great interview.
Yeah.
And Rather goes, what made it great? He said, because the guy was fearless and he
said this about you.
Yes. And like that, and that he just kept going. Like I can't remember what the other thing was.
Right.
But it was just that, I was fearless and I wasn't afraid to fail. And I'm like, all right, well that's good.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
That's points. But Ben, that didn't that didn't pan out. But what happened was he just went into this monologue about acting. So
A
and then
filibuster, I would say.
No. Yes. And I tried to interject here and there, and he was put
It's
off.
like what
by
I'm
it.
trying to do right now.
Right. And he shot daggers at me, but it was like, it wasn't sort of like, don't interrupt me. It was like, you plebe, you fuck. You know, like it was like hostile. And I was getting it, but I was just like, I just looked him right in the eye, never lost eye contact, and I took it.
Yeah.
And then like I tried to sort of promote, I think I guided it a little bit.
Yeah.
Once we got to the Jews. I don't know why he was carrying around that poem. I don't
The best was you kept going, can you read the poem?
Yeah.
And then he's not listening to you because he goes, can I read it?
Yeah.
I'm like, yes. I keep talking about this fucking poem.
Well, in his defense, he wasn't wearing cans because, like, I guess he didn't want to mess up his head. So, like,
when he does Gandhi, they're like, you know, this isn't going to go back, right?
but what I did within it was I kept fighting the urge to be upset, and I said, well, look, this is how it's going to go.
Yeah.
He's a professional, and he is saying something. So go ahead and engage with him emotionally, and see where it takes you.
Yeah.
So I just listened to him, and it was, for people that don't know me, and don't like, it would have been fine. If I hadn't done the preamble, some people would have been like, you didn't get to talk much, but what an interesting thing.
Yeah.
But I knew he was telling stories that he'd told before, but I just let myself, be the audience for this guy who's not nothing.
Sure.
He's done some garbage movies, but he's not nothing.
I think you hit on something in your preamble, which is kind of the nice way of saying it, but you must have this feeling where you're like, why are we listening to these actors go on and on?
Look,
like,
at the beginning of my
sometimes
show,
actors
dude,
are just like...
I didn't have them on at the beginning. It was all comics.
Yeah.
And I was nervous about actors initially because some of them don't have, it's not so much that they're shallow or anything. They just, they don't have to talk, really.
Yeah.
But it was very funny because John C. Reilly it was an interesting turn with actors because he came over and he literally was like, I don't like doing these, because I don't want to talk about myself because I gotta keep the mystique going. And And I'm like, well, what are we gonna do then, man?
Yeah.
But he was very funny because I had a clown painting in my house.
Yeah.
And then we ended up talking about clowns for an hour.
He's got so many diverse interests.
Right, but he's a great character actor, and some of those guys are more interesting. But I had a fear of actors because I didn't know if they could talk.
Right.
But once I started acting, I was like, well, I'm going to get acting lessons from as many people as I can.
Yeah, yeah.
So that was sort of the foundation of it. Like Martin Landau was giving me acting tips, and like Paul Dano was good. Like I asked Paul Dano once.
You shouldn't be making money off the show. You should be paying
right.
for the show.
But sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I remember like there's always been something funny because I did do some acting stuff in college,
Yeah.
And for some reason I asked Paul Dano, I said, so do you do any animal work? And
like for exercises.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Right.
Like which is a thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And he looked at me for a minute. He goes, I do.
Really?
Yeah.
He's like, you shouldn't have asked me that, but I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
That's funny.
What's it like being the coolest guy in town?
But yeah, so the Kingsley thing, I'm still a little obsessed with it because I think there was a thing where there was a sense of mutual disrespect.
Right.
And, whatever his was, in being empathetic about it, that, he sees himself as whatever the fuck that was on the show. And I see myself as a guy, it's like, you're in my house, you're my guest, and I'm being gracious.
But there's something about that I crave. I can't wait to hear that.
Yeah.
So like that's almost like the early years of WTF.
Yeah.
There were those episodes where you were like, did you hear Mark and with whoever?
Right.
Like that was like the thing that drew people into that show.
Yeah, well, people would come on and people
so you almost want that. You almost want a Ben Kingsley experience every once in a while.
Kind of,
but you can't force it.
It's humbling, but in the beginning, that people would come on my show, people that I know kind of like you, and we'd have these conversations that many people I've never talked to them again. Them. But they're very candid.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, people who know those people are like, "I never knew that about you."
Yeah, yeah.
Like they people have known them for years.
Yeah.
But I found it frustrating because I know that there's something in Sir Ben, that's totally capable of.
We don't have to call him Sir Ben, by the way. It feels just a little silly.
Well, no, don't tell him that. But he he's got relationships with people because Jessica Chastain yesterday.
She confirmed, right?
Well, she listened to it.
Yeah.
And then had her people send an email exchange between her and Sir Ben.
Oh, there's an email?
Yes,
There's a
sir.
fucking
Yes,
paper
sir.
trail?
Yes, there's a paper trail.
Holy shit.
So poor Jessica, who's lovely, has to just live with the fact that Ben threw her under the fucking bus for hundreds of thousands of people.
All right, let's take a call.
Yeah, let's check in on
Fuck Ben. I mean, I
wanted to clear something
Just
up
kidding.
about my girlfriend snoring because she might be watching. I don't make her sleep in the other
That
bedroom.
did come off a little harsh. I have to say.
Usually what it does, she does snore, and like I'm a fairly light sleeper, and what happens is generally we fall asleep together, and then when it starts, I go, hey baby, can I walk you over to the other room? And I very nicely I fold down the bed and I help her into it.
We'll get you a
And then
discount on Snore and Blowburn.
I appreciate that. And we
It's
both
a fake
have
product.
nice,
It's
nice
not a real
night's
product.
sleep.
I just want to, before we get to the call, speaking of sleep, I had a terrible, not last night, the night before, both my kids, I have two kids.
Yeah.
6 and 9.
I can check.
Yes.
Yeah,
I saw
but
them on the
think
show.
that's right.
Yeah.
They both are sick. Both were sick with I think the same thing, but just like a fever and a.
When was this?
This was a couple days ago.
Oh, great.
Yeah, you're done for. It's in the air.
We're all sick now.
They're no COVID.
No, sorry, go ahead.
But
I did a COVID test the other day. It's like, this is kind of a throwback.
My daughter couldn't sleep in her. My daughter couldn't sleep in her room because we have rats.
Yeah.
We have rats in the walls.
Do you put this?
And we've tried everything.
Really?
Yeah, we've tried.
The peanut butter trap?
What
they like?
Yeah.
Yeah, the old school, you got to
It's the worst when you find them.
Okay.
I have one in my basement. I've killed 2 down there, but they don't come back. I always walk into the basement and they're like, no. Okay.
And then she couldn't sleep downstairs in our living room because I had made black beans.
Yeah.
And
How
the
do you make
smell, pressure cooker, which I just got from Matt.
Work out?
They needed more time.
Beans smell that pungent?
But she was like, I can't sleep with the beans, so she slept in our bed.
They smell bad to her?
I think they smell great.
Yeah,
but I
but-
think she was like coming off this stomach thing, and it was like
the
everything was.
food. Yeah,
she's
yeah.
pregnant.
Oh, wow.
You know, like
Yeah.
smells set off.
Rough joke to defend. But go ahead.
Should we open the?
It's clear. It's like it's absurd. Of course, she's not pregnant.
Lee on the complaint line apparently.
Oh,
Lee, are you there on the hotline?
Yeah, hey there. Well, it's just
Lee
more
Remick.
of a bit of a tangent here, I guess. But you hear me there?
Yeah.
Hey there.
Hi.
Okay, so what I was thinking was, it's kind of a long time coming. What about changing the theme song for the City of the Dead? Because I just feel like it's kind of getting old, don't you think?
Wait, what a way to disengage Marc Maron.
This is important. This is important show business.
This is like
this guy is hung up.
This is like if we were doing like a Bob Vila show, and we were like, "How do you disengage Marc Maron from your podcast?" Here's one easy step.
Sure, he doesn't come again.
Well, the one thing about a call like that is like, you know he's paying attention.
What do you want me to ask? Give me a question to ask him.
No, you're okay, buddy.
Wait, did you just say, give me a question to ask him?
Would you
Well, it
change
is
your
the
theme
Hothead
song?
hotline,
Yeah,
right?
but if it's that important to you.
Ask
don't
Mark
like
to
the
change his
well,
theme
you know
song.
what? Oh,
this is what he wants. Give it to him.
you don't like the fucking song? Then go fuck
I just think
yourself.
it's getting a little old, all right? It's like a dead horse. It's like an old joke.
Turn the volume
there's
down
an
during that
opportunity
segment,
there.
pal.
Yeah, you can just fast forward, man. It's okay. Yeah, you know, it sounds like you have a full life.
You know what? I'm doing
I just think, the nature of the show. It's
I'm
an
doing
opportunity.
I did say that a year ago. It was the same kind of thing, but I've come around. I like.
You said you were going to make.
You said that a year ago?
Yeah.
Who gives
There's
a
a
shit?
defector in the room.
That's right. But I
He's
love
bonding
it again,
with the complaint, like, dude, you don't got it up for a year. I've
You
been
have
saying
no
it.
idea. He's got a lot of ideas
Got
on
a
this
lot
show.
of ideas. You don't want to.
The other day, I'm doing a warm-up show for the tour coming up. By the way, just announced at the Moroccan. You know the Moroccan? It's like it's downtown. It's like a small.
Is it nice?
It's not nice. It's like a rock club.
Are you doing your hack comic character or what?
Yeah, well, the tour is the first half is the hack comic character that I know you have thoughts on. The second half is me and my band.
Oh, yeah?
Me and the Very Good Band. So we're
What
doing
kind,
a
what, you
warm-up
do
show.
covers? You do covers?
No, I do my music.
Really?
I've put out several albums.
I
that
think
you
I
would
knew
like,
that.
you
All right,
would like.
I'll listen to them. I will. I'm sorry.
I think you will like it.
Yeah.
But
I'm coming around to you, man.
I love records.
by the time I retire, you're going to be a big fan. No, but this guy writes I announced this thing on our Patreon, and he writes, I just wish you'd do a show not at a Ticketmaster.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, what do you want me to do?
I'm not
like,
a huge fan.
I don't.
Yeah.
Like it's this
I think
little
we have
club.
control. Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like we're not selling 50,000 tickets.
Exactly. It's
and
like
it's
200
sort of like
people.
I got to get involved on that level. I got to change venues.
Yeah.
I got to change promoters for
It's
the
really,
800
it's
people
already
that are
really
gonna come.
hard. Okay. And
Your
this
ticket costs aren't that high, are they?
No, it's like $25.
Yeah, like fuck them.
And just the idea that somebody out there thinks I need to hear that.
Fuck them.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. What do we want to do?
You want to lighten it up? We got somebody with a joke, I think.
People think also that I'm like really mad about this. Like
What?
that yelling, people are just take that literally, that I got that mad.
Oh, really?
Some people will.
It feels good to do that.
Back to the City of the Day song. Like, remember?
No, see.
Well, remember when we tried to change the intro song?
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
that didn't work.
That did
You
not
just
work.
gotta
So
stick
yeah, you
with
just
the.
gotta stick with
you just
it.
gotta
I haven't
stick
changed my logo in 12 years. It's
I know.
still that
Yeah.
head.
It's iconic.
I don't even
Yeah.
look like
You've got
don't
that
need to,
down,
yeah.
down, take it down.
Well, that's
down.
the song. Yeah, that guy made a great song.
Does he get money out of that somehow?
Maybe. I don't know.
I think the answer is no.
We paid him. I don't know what happens with. I mean, he's got the writing credit on it, so I don't know.
Yeah, maybe through Spotify or whatever. There's. All right.
We could do our rapid fire list.
Where John Montana, the guy who wrote it, is going to be like, I haven't thought about that. Email Brendan, my producer.
Pandora's box. Who do you have, Matt?
We could do our rapid fire list.
Nice.
Oh yeah,
Forgot
you want
we
to play a
have that.
game? We made a game for you. Well, actually,
Okay.
we made a game for Tom Sharpling. I know you're friends with Tom.
I love Tom, yeah.
What's your friendship with Tom like? Do you see each other?
Sometimes. I mean, we were seeing each other more during the pandemic, it seems. And we used to do Mark and Tom shows occasionally. And we'll go have a meal sometimes. And but he seems busy. And I always, I try not to take any of this personally, that people have bigger lives than mine.
But are you a guy that doesn't reach out?
I do.
You do?
Yeah. And I'll reach out a few times. And I think as you get older, it's not the same. You can't just be like, hey, you want to run errands with me?
I know. Well, I mean, I can't do anything with these kids.
Yeah. Well, you did it.
How are you with text? Do you get a lot of text and then you just let them go, or do you respond
Space
quickly and
them
get it over? Yeah.
No, I try to respond, but some of them get away from me. I recently re-engaged with a guy I knew when he was 10 years old, and he kind of resurfaced. I try to maintain friendships, but it's just difficult. Who do you
I like you say, it was a misspeak, I think, but you said when he was 10 years old. That'd be funny. Because it was when you, both of you were 10 years old.
No, he's a little younger than me.
Oh, okay.
Mark was 40. He was 10.
Yeah, it's a weird thing, and his
know what
parents said
that's
it was
about.
okay.
Well, when you said Tom has a bigger life than you, what do you mean by that?
Well, I guess it's just any life. I think that I get this, I'm over there by myself. He doesn't have kids either, but he seems to be doing a million things, and I guess I am too.
You
but
seem
he's
like
got
you are too.
Yeah, it's just a matter, it just becomes harder to schedule things when you're older, because you got, I don't know why.
All right, we're gonna play this game.
But we're close.
These are your options.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
No thanks, but God bless.
Okay. Do I got to get these right on?
Or fuck that.
Okay.
So one more time.
Definitely sure.
No thanks, but God bless if you're into that.
Right.
Or fuck that.
Okay.
Here we go. Real quick. Just first reactions.
Okay.
Apple pie.
Sure.
Baseball.
No thanks, but God bless.
America.
Sure.
Not the country, the band.
Oh, the band?
Yeah.
No thanks, but God bless.
The band.
Yeah, the band. Oh,
No.
the band?
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
I've decided to do a who's on first. Podcasts.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Arby's.
Now I'm getting excited.
Arby's?
Yeah.
Well, it's not part of my life. No thanks, but God bless.
Kevin Morby.
No thanks, but God bless.
Really? Good friend of mine.
Is he?
He's a nice guy.
He's a very nice guy.
Yeah.
I just couldn't lock in. Go ahead.
Hey, that's fair. You might not plain M&Ms.
Yeah, sure.
The king of pop.
No thanks, but God bless.
Popcorn.
Definitely.
Corn on the cob.
Sure.
The death penalty.
No. What's the last one?
Fuck that.
Fuck that.
Okay, so you're still political.
Yeah.
It's funny to think it's not fun, but I knew you back in when you're doing Air America.
Yeah.
Politics, you were you were.
Well, that was the thing. That was
the thing.
But ultimately, out of that morning show, which was a comedy show,
Yeah.
Morning Sedition, but it was the left wing talk radio network. But we were doing a loaded comedy show. We did so many comedies. We were all overworking. We did scripted pieces, characters, and
was that every morning?
Yes. It was 5 days a week, and we were there at 3 in the morning. And we had a writer. There was a writing staff, and a guy would be on our show. We were doing full. Do you know Tom Johnson?
No.
He's kind of a genius. I don't know what happened to him, but we were doing, and Kent Jones and Jim Earl. There were a lot of cats who were working. The person who put the network together had hired basically a writing staff of guys that were real guys, and we would use all of them. And there was all these bits.
Right.
They're available. The bits we've kind of put it. We did a history of Morning Sedition for the bonus content on WTF, but
obviously some of it's not going to hold up.
No, but it was all well executed.
Right.
But the point I was trying to make is I did politics, but it was when I started to break away and just talk about my life because I became the driver of the show.
Right.
You know, I had Mark Reilly to do the news. That's when I sort of learned how to do radio.
Right.
Was like detaching from the politics and just talking about the cats or about what I was cooking.
Right.
And it really resonated with people. But because of that, that's where I got my chops, you know, to sort of confidently move forward.
But you wouldn't consider yourself like a political activist.
No, I think like there were times during you know COVID and during Trump where I certainly I think the last special I did, not From Bleak to Dark, which has a little bit of that in it.
Yeah,
but End Times Fun was definitely loaded and political because I found it was necessary. I mean, we chose when we did WTF not to do politics as the theme,
unless you have like fucking
Obama on.
Yeah.
But even that was personal. We were pretty.
You're not getting into policies.
No, and and we don't. But the monologues when I was panicking, and now, as fascism kind of is clear.
Yeah.
That like I'd be remiss.
Yeah.
And there are days where it really is angering and frightening, but there has to be some sort of, call it what it is, and you have to have a level of acceptance, and then go from there.
And you've managed as you age, as you get older, to not become one of these older comedians who get recalcitrant and bitter about change. You've maintained
somehow or another, because I don't know if it's because I don't have kids or because of my particular point of view. My audiences are generally grown-ups.
Yeah.
They're generally polite. They tip well. A lot of them are aggravated, creative people. The younger people that are kind of into me are a lot like I was when I was a kid, where you find somebody with new ideas. I somehow have I'm not just some old guy for the most part, and I have a fairly good audience. But no, I just keep doing what I've always done and keep moving the conversation forward and doing new stuff. And they're like, I don't know how I'm going to do better than the last two specials, but I've got a new hour already.
Oh wow!
And but it's loose, but I'm working it.
That's what do 20. About.
I've got some pretty good jokes, but like what I've been
like
doing.
That laugh that was like,
but I never stopped. I just keep going and doing it, and sometimes I don't know why exactly. But what I've been doing lately with the shorter sets is just kind of like. Something I don't usually do is like just focusing in on crafting jokes, and that's fine. It's enjoyable. It's part of my job, and it's keeping me up there.
Right.
But I'm waiting. Like last night, I had one of those sets where I'm like, all right, dude. Well, those are the jokes that you wrote after the special, and you've worked them, and now you're tired of them. So when are we locking in?
Right.
When are you going to talk about something?
Right.
Get into it. Take the risk. So I'm on the verge of that.
That's a scary part of the night.
Yeah, and that's why I start doing the Dynasty shows.
Right.
Is where I'm like, I have to do an hour, like, and the audience knows what's up, and we'll see what happens, and that's where I find the stuff.
Are we done with it? You bring.
Yeah, I record all the time, but I rarely listen.
Oh, because if something sticks with you, it just sticks. Yeah, it's like Paul McCartney who said, "Oh, you just remember it. That's why we never wrote anything down."
Woke up.
Do you have that clip of him talking about this is the funniest thing. There's a clip of him talking about taking a photograph. He did the Sunday morning show.
Yeah, I don't know if I have that right here. But.
He goes, I sent it to a bunch of people because it's like it's the
It's
very
in the thread.
definition.
I can't get over watching that documentary, that footage.
Get back.
Oh
I know.
My God.
Let me see. I sent it to.
I can never figure out whether it's because we know the song so well or they were just so unbelievably connected and there was some sort of magic. I guess it's both. But like when you hear the
guitar.
the beginnings of those songs that they haven't worked out yet. You're like, oh,
Yeah. They're so fucking talented.
It was just so they were so up in each other's. They're the alchemy. I guess.
You know what got me because was we went to go see the just the rooftop concert. They did like a limited IMAX version, which is really great. But what really broke my heart was watching John. Like Paul McCartney is like the most effortless musician.
Yeah.
Right. Everything's just easy and. John's up there playing hard shit. Like I've got a feeling. Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, it's hard.
Not easy, and it's freezing cold up there.
Yeah.
And they just learned the song.
Yeah.
Like they just wrote the song like a few days ago.
Yeah.
And so I just felt like he was just like trying to hold on for dear life.
Oh really?
And he's probably coming off heroin and
sweaty.
And that's the feeling I got, where he's like, it must have been hard to be in that band for him sometimes, with Paul next to him, just being like just soaring.
Well, right, but I think that was the relationship. I think that I guess it's not unexplored, but he was the weird kind of emotional component of the whole thing, and it was sort of unhinged because his childhood was so bad, and Paul was this sort of tea-sipping, stable guy. Yeah. And it's kind of weird because I interviewed Paul, in a live one, and it was very funny. It was one of the best moments of the podcast when I interview these older musicians like Roger Waters or anybody, they all really kind of think that the work they're doing now is like great.
Yeah, sure.
And I just I remember like I was like but then they'll all talk for an hour about whatever.
They'll drag out the old stories.
Well, Roger Waters is like, I'm not going to talk about Pink Floyd. I'm like, well, then what do we do? So. But within 5 minutes, he's throwing Gilmore under the bus, and we're talking about
the fucking Jews.
Yeah, exactly.
Is he knighted? Is
No,
he Sir?
no,
I don't think so.
How many nights have you?
Let him finish.
I don't know how many nights I've. I think Ian McKellen might be a knight, and is Patrick Stewart a knight?
I'm about to day you.
But so Paul, so like, and it's a live event at Capitol Records. There's a lot of people there, which makes it a different dynamic. But I said two things to him. Like before we went on, when I first met him, I said, "It's my understanding that the Beatles are off the table," and he just was like, and it didn't really land. So, but like I thought I throw this curveball at him like during the interview. I said, I talked to a lot of musicians of your generation, and they. And he was promoting Egypt Station, which was like whatever. So
that's one he like wrote and recorded in a day, I believe.
Yeah,
like one of those things.
Okay, so I said to him, I said, a lot of musicians of your generation really think that they're doing their best work now. Is that how you feel? And he looks at me and goes, I was in the Beatles. It's a pretty high bar.
There's only so much I could do.
I can play bass.
Yeah. Wait, do you have it? I sent it to you guys. Did I not?
Oh, you did?
No. Well, but anyways, he's got a new book of photography out.
Oh, yeah?
And that same guy that interviewed you on CBS Sunday Morning is interviewing him.
Taking photographs, I'd be just looking for a shot. Yeah. And so I'd aim the camera and just sort of see where I liked it, that's it. Yeah. And invariably, you pretty much take one picture.
Oh, okay.
I love that.
That's how you did it.
Out of all of them, he's still alive. Meanwhile, his wife Linda was a photographer. Right. So, and now, he's got the complete freedom to revise any part of Beatles history that he wants. And it's interesting.
I like everything he says. It feels like he's the guy that figured it out.
Yeah.
Well,
why? He's the only one left who loves
every
Ringo.
time he shoots, it's not hard. It's all you just put it through, and then you do the loop, and then you're done.
What's Ringo going to argue with him? I just like
Ringo Starr.
I just watched that moment where Ringo's like the courage it took him to find plink out Octopus's garden in a raw form, and just sort of like everyone's sort of like, oh god.
Yeah.
But fucking George just got up and
saves it.
and just sort of took care of him. It was kind of beautiful. I heard this thing about the Beatles that I don't know if it's true. I was talking to I'll drop some names.
I'll tell you if it's true.
James Gray and I are kind of friends. I never know. Like I have guests on the show, and then we're friends for a few weeks, and it kind of
who's James Gray?
He's a director.
Okay.
He did Armageddon Time. He did. He's great. He's great guy. But he said there's a book, and I got to read it, that the Beatles, when they were in Hamburg, the guy who owned the club in Hamburg had somehow acquired a lot of leftover Nazi amphetamines. And
oh shit!
And that was surplus, war surplus,
Right,
because they used to feed them all. Right,
that's what the
and that's
soldiers
what he
took.
was feeding the Beatles to play all night.
I do know.
That's why the Beatles are good.
Well, that's
because of
why
Nazi amphetamines.
Yes, exactly, because that's how they were just at it all night. Like, and if you listen to those early Beatles songs, it's a little fast.
Yeah.
And so that was the genius.
Oh,
of it.
they were called Prellies, I think.
Uh-huh.
But I didn't know they were from the Nazis.
But
Well,
that's I
got to
can't-
thank the Nazis for something.
That's right. That weren't all bad.
Nazi meth made Beatles.
Yeah, there's the headline. I don't know if it's true. I keep forgetting to text James where he got that, what
All right,
the
wait,
source of that was.
Pause.
Can you text
Time
Paul?
out, Matt. Take control of this show. We got to take a quick break. We actually do have to take a quick break.
Okay.
Because the second half of the show is where we make the money.
Oh,
It's
am I
behind
still
the
on?
wall. Can you stay?
Yeah.
All right. We'll be right back, and we'll take calls, and we'll keep talking to Mark. Hope you're having a nice time.
Yeah.
Quartet singing. And when it comes to quartet singing, you just can't beat the Jordanaires with Shadrach. Shadrach. Now there were 3 children from the land of Israel. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego took a little trip into the land of Babylon. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Well, Nebuchadnezzar was the king of Babylon. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Well, they took a lot of gold and they made him an idol. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Well, they told everybody when they hear the music of the cornet. Oh yes, told everybody when they hear the music of the flute. Well, they told everybody when they hear the music of the horn. Oh, great God, they said you gotta bow down and worship the idol. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. But the children of Israel would not bow down. You couldn't fool them with a golden idol. So the king put the children in the fiery furnace. Great God, he heaped them cold and red-hot brimstone. Made it 7 times hotter than it ought to be. A good book says. Even burn up the soldiers the king has put there. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Oh, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Oh, the Lord God sent him an angel and gave him a couple of wings. Well, he sent him on down in the middle of doom and began to cool the flames. God's children, they got so happy, they went strutting right through the fire, laughing and talking about the power of the gospel. Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego. Oh, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Words from a book showed me the way to be free of the shadows of yesterday. But the price of that freedom we all must pay from now on. Ooh, joining together we held our ground, and we lifted our voices one mighty sound, and struck down the walls of darkness. We stood tall. Yes, we did. We decided to take a stand to defend the rights of man. We stand tall. No turning back. We found a way. We stand tall, ever strong. We'll live on. We stand tall, knowing the truth will set us free and take us from clear to eternity, to a future we thought would never be. We stand tall, privacy is secure, for we'll keep your vision pure. Oh, we stand tall, no turning back. We found a way.
We're back. We're back. Welcome to the second half of the show. It is. I didn't even give updates on the weather.
It's nice.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Did you notice I'm wearing my work shirt?
Yeah,
for the office hours. This
appreciate-
guy in Portland shipped
You got a little schmutz on it.
I do.
Say. I hate
No,
to
it's
say.
not. That's a tag.
No, above it. There's a little schmutz. Matt?
It's a little
Hide
nicotine,
stick?
a little nicotine powder. But yeah, the guy Mike Elias up in Portland at Ship John make this for me.
I need an OHL one.
Yeah,
He'll make you one.
Okay.
I'll
I
tell
almost, you know what I did? This weekend I went up to, this is my part of the beginning of your show kind of thing. I'll do a
so this is this.
spiel.
We're in the special part. People are paying for this.
Yeah, they're paying. Wait to hear what they're about to be paying for. No, but I have this. We drove up to this area called Three Rivers, California, which is up in the Sequoia. It's like on the way to Sequoia
How
National
far? How
Forest.
many hours?
3.5 hours.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Past. You go right through Bakersfield.
Yeah.
So we're going through Bakersfield, and it's a little rough, but it's like Western. It's like going to the Wild West a little bit. Like they have a.
Isn't that Merle Haggard's?
Merle Haggard,
and Buck
Buck
Owens,
Owens,
Credence.
the
maybe?
Bakersfield.
No, that's a little further
That's
north.
Lodi.
Yeah.
That's Northern California.
Yeah.
But anyway, my daughter is wearing the cutest like jean overalls. You know the overalls.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is so absurd, but I'm like, I should be one of those guys that wears overalls.
Yeah. Oshkosh.
Yeah.
That was the brand when I was a kid.
Like Dickies,
Oshkosh Bagosh.
or the Carhartts. People wear the Carhartts.
Those are still thick though. You would hate it.
Does Oshkosh still make?
I don't know if they make adult stuff.
I remember
though.
the Oshkosh from Oshkosh, Wisconsin.
So
Oshkosh Bagosh.
I said to my,
Oshkosh Bagosh.
I said we're gonna stop for lunch here. Maybe we could search. I know there's probably a Western clothes supply store kind of thing, and there's a really great one. Matt was there. It's got the cowboy hats and the boots and the jeans. Anyways, they didn't have any of that. They didn't have overalls, but they said there's another place, like a hardware store that does. So we went there. I tried this on, and it was just like, absolutely not.
No,
Like
couldn't do it.
100% not gonna. I'm not gonna be able to. I look like an idiot.
Sure.
But you see guys at Highland Park wearing overalls. They look cool.
Looking cool is tricky.
It's so hard.
And you know.
But you look pretty good, and you know.
Well, I've committed to a thing, and you know, it really, if you commit to a thing, you're limited to like 2 or 3 pairs of pants, a couple boots, and a series of shirts.
Some
but
plaids or
but like
flannels.
I just I used to more. I'm a little out of those. I'm not doing that as much.
So you're almost 60.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this today. Like, do you think you think you're locked in for the rest of your life?
Well, you know,
with
it's
the way you're going to look.
I guess so. It's kind of weird because it's really about like what's your head look good on top of,
right?
You know, what kind of compromises you can make. I'll wear a Lacoste shirt occasionally. I have several.
This looks good on me,
Yeah,
and I know it, so that's why
you
I wear it.
can't lose with those.
No.
You know, people may judge them,
I don't want
but
to look like
ultimately,
fucking Jeff Garland or anything like that. You
wow,
know what I mean?
weird reference.
I don't know. I think he wears.
You're gonna have to put on 50 pounds and never shut up. But so you got one thing going. So the.
That's a good point.
Sorry.
No, please dish. Oh, there they go. They're good.
No,
though.
they're very good. It's almost as if the PAs took over the show.
Yeah, that's right.
It's like if you were doing a morning radio show and the main jock just had no control
He's given up.
over the guy on the 360. We used
That's
to call
what's
him.
happening.
Yeah.
But you guys are being actually pretty good.
I mean,
today,
this
I have to
is
say.
Pretty
very
good.
reserved.
I've not heard a free moment of silence since I've been here.
Could I tell you about? This is actually our second time meeting. One time I walked in.
He's been sitting on this for an hour.
I know. I wanted to tell you, but about a year ago, I walked into a guitar store in that area where you live, kind of. I think.
Highland Park, I think.
Yeah, and I walked in. I thought,
Future Music.
Yes, Jack.
Yes.
And I
Yeah.
look over to the left. There's a couch there. I thought it was just an employee that was going to walk by.
Yeah.
But I look over, and it's you.
I'm sitting there.
And I just like, I was like, holy shit, dude, I wasn't expecting that. And
Yeah.
I just go, oh, hi, Mark. And I just like walked on.
hi, Mark.
And but
Hi,
hi, Mark. Like it almost seemed like we were regulars, and you were just like so confused.
Was
at
I?
me. You're like,
Usually I just
like a
kinda,
fake smile, and
Yeah.
and then I just
don't
like
know.
shopped
Hi, Mark.
around for like a minute, and like, bye, Mark.
Oh, hi,
The
Mark.
weirdest
I kind of remember that because I don't sit
yeah.
in there too often.
Yeah, it was-
But
yeah.
that's one of those places where there's always like, I brought some stuff over there to sell recently,
Mm-hmm.
actually. And it's like a real old-timey kind of like half junk store, half music store.
Yeah, you never
and
know
the
if it's
guy,
open, too.
Yeah, and Jack is a good guy. But it's one of those places that I used to love when I was growing up. There's always a couple of guys hanging out, and you can always walk in mid-conversation. You can go away for a month, and you walk in, it's sort of like, I didn't miss anything.
Well, the reason you're here today is a couple weeks ago, I saw you walking around Highland
right there,
Park,
yeah.
and you do feel like you're like the Santa Claus of Highland Park or something. Like,
I just started. This is a fucked up thing about having lozenges is that like I don't think anyone can see me moving them around in my mouth, yet I'm on camera. But
I could really see you with no teeth. I can see that.
It'll happen. It's coming. Well, I just started going back to Highland Park because I have an office there that I got when I was in the old house, and people would send me shit, records, books, promo stuff, gifts, fan art.
It's behind there.
And I didn't have room to process any of it, so I got an office right there.
Yeah.
But since I moved here, I don't use it as much.
That's right. You're in Glendale.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
and it's like it's built. It was getting dusty. It was like my old garage, where like it started to look like a kind of neglected roadside attraction. Where the stuff is getting dusty and like.
By the way, pause for a second.
Yeah.
Those teeth chattering.
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
That's from what did I mention? You not having teeth a minute ago.
Yeah.
He finds the his like little quest is Don Quixote thing.
He's on a delay.
I forgot where it was.
Now we're talking about the teeth again.
And he doesn't realize the moment's passed.
He's locked in.
He's like, whatever it takes.
It's called a callback.
He's running his own show.
Callback.
Yeah,
All
callback.
right.
But so that's why I've been around, because I've cleaned it all out.
Right.
And I like sitting there now. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do in the office, but now if you have stuff sitting around for years that you don't engage with, fuck it. So now it's just all clean, and the couch, it's vacuumed. It took days. And now I just go there and I sit there.
It's
the nicest.
Back to this Jason Schwartzman. We're doing this thing at Matador Records in New York, and we're shooting this thing in their office. And he was like, you know what I love? I love office. I love office stuff. I love like an office, like a scanner and like a printer. And I was like, we should just get an office together and we don't know what we'll do. We'll just go there and work and get supplies from Staples. Probably not.
Don't do it. Don't buy a fucking ferry. Like
Pete Davidson.
Pete Davidson and what's the other guy's name? Colin.
Are you caught up on Bupkis, the Pete Davidson show?
I don't know. That guy sort of. I feel like he kind of turned on me. That guy, but like, is it good? This show?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, but like, because like that they did that. They're like, what? It's only like $200,000. We're rich now, and we're both from Staten Island. Let's buy a boat. So now it's like the guys who sold them that must have been like, oh my god, what a gift!
All the best.
Yeah. So now they've got this fucking multi-ton piece of garbage.
For real?
They got a ferry boat, not just a boat. They were like, we'll make a nightclub, and now just sitting there rusting.
Yeah.
And they don't know what the fuck they're gonna do with it.
Dock fees, whatever the harbor master's coming over.
Yeah. Do you ever play a cover of Up Around the Bend? The Creedence song?
The bend.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I just...
You figured it out?
I figured it out, but I don't know if I could get the teeth to it, like that. So good.
Matt, were you in that band, Matt, back in New York?
Creedence?
Of course.
You were the drummer.
Carolina
We did a
Tumbleweed
Creedence
connection.
cover band.
Oh, you did?
And it was hard. I mean, it's hard
man,
music.
Did
it's
you
hard
watch
to
that
sing.
documentary?
Yeah, the documentary's not very good.
But what's good about it is to see, like, when they're in Royal Albert Hall, just to see as a band how fucking locked in they were. Like, with Fogerty and the drummer. Yeah. It was crazy.
What's funny about that is the spiral cable that Fogerty has to his amp. It doesn't touch the ground. It's like early days of like live rock music.
They're so good. Like, I have the old vinyl, the Fantasy Records, and those Fantasy Records you could eat off them. Yeah. And the grooves are so deep, they sound amazing.
Why is that?
Who knows? It's just the quality of the record and also the simplicity of the production. Because I asked Fogerty, it was so funny. Because that was a big deal. I drove out to his fucking house for that interview. Right. It was years ago. He's one of these guys that, he's got his story, but, he married a woman who's much younger than him that I think in some part of her brain's like, I could still get some mileage out of this horse. We got to get him out there. So
Brian Wilson.
Exactly. Yeah. But Fogerty still got the juice. He's great.
Yeah.
But I said to him, when you produce those records, because they hold up, they sound great. Yeah. Like, what were you thinking when you produced them? He says, it's pretty easy. Because he said, they're producing, he said, basically for an AM speaker in a car dashboard.
Yeah.
That's what he was thinking. Right. So he says, when I'm singing, put that out front.
Yeah,
when
yeah.
the guitar comes, put that out front. Because it's coming out of a car speaker.
Yeah, yeah.
In the 60s.
That's what Phil Spector used to do. They used to get a mix down and have a shitty little transistor radio and have them broadcast it to there to see what. That's the only way you could tell if it was.
And that's like one time Tom Waits, there's a quote of his that I always remember. Someone asked him, "What's your favorite kind of music?" And Waits says, "An AM radio across the street."
that's the best. Yeah, that's like when they put out that Beatles, all the Beatles remastered and stuff. Some of it bugs me because it's like I don't want to hear these differently anymore.
I sometimes they get sent to me and I have some of the bootlegs, but the special boxes with the records of things they decided not to use, I'm man, that's the reason for that. I don't want to know the process.
The mono was all they cared about too, up until like Sgt. Pepper. It was everything was in mono.
Or that
the
remix.
Final mixes.
I sat there with Sharpling and his girlfriend and I think it was Lynn. We got that Abbey Road remix.
Yeah.
And it's kind of amazing.
Yeah.
That there's stuff that was brought out front that you didn't hear before.
It's
pretty great, but I don't know. I still listen. Like when I get reissues, I still listen to the original ones, even if they're fucked up. The records. I'm not a big bootleg guy. Like one time, Rollins gave me like 6 hours of the Funhouse sessions for Iggy Pop, and I'm like, what? I got to listen to an hour. I'm like, ow!
Yeah.
You know. Like,
Matt, give me a call. Give me a Zoomer. Let's touch base with the plebes.
Chris, I kept
Please.
you waiting before.
Chris Martin from Coldplay.
Chris
Now that
Hipster.
couldn't be a good interview.
I don't even know their songs.
No. Imagine
Yeah,
having
my
to
last
interview
name is
Chris
Morton.
Martin.
With
That's
what?
right.
What's your last name?
Hipster. No T.
Your
I know
last
it's
name
hard.
is
Hipster.
Hipster?
Really?
Wow. No T.
Yeah.
Is that why?
hipster.
Did you?
Thanks.
Is that what compelled you to get the haircut?
I know the whole glasses, everything.
That's
Anyway, I had to start with a
haircut.
joke
Yeah.
because that seems to be the standard.
I did a bit last week that maybe you saw, maybe you didn't. Doesn't matter.
I watch
There's
this show
a
regularly.
game show called "What's Your Name," and it's not a game show. It's like a America's Got Talent kind of thing. And judges, all this guy would have to do is tell us his name, and we discuss and we argue, and we eventually decide if we like the name or not.
I like
dumb
it.
show.
I like it.
It's more of a sketch than a.
Yeah, I like it.
All
Thanks,
right, Chris,
Mark.
what do you have for me?
Well, my joke is
Oh, he's got a joke.
Yeah.
2 peanuts are walking down the street.
Hey-o.
One is assaulted
But what's your name?
Oh, that's the whole
and
joke.
then brutally raped and murdered. It
Ah.
was very tragic.
What's your name, though?
We had to wait for it. I was done, and I didn't realize we were waiting
What's your
for it.
name? Like Chad or something?
It's one of those edgy.
So you
You're
get
one of
like a
those
2 out of
edgy
10?
comics.
That sounds like you got
Yeah.
that out of like a joke book from the 50s, and you're like, I'm gonna fucking tweak this fucker.
Did you read Truly Tasteless Jokes, Mark? Was that a thing
Yeah,
growing
I
up?
remember those, yeah.
Blanche Knott?
Do you remember a book called Jokes for the John? It was
Yes,
a hardcover
yeah,
book.
sure.
My grandmother had it.
Yeah.
That was for the bathroom.
My Grammy had that. Yeah.
Jews.
They should I wonder if they must do a toilet paper with jokes printed on the paper.
Sure.
Then you just flush it. That's it.
All right, bye, Chris. Let's
Thank
take
you.
somebody else. No more jokes. I mean, come on.
Let's give Marcy a turn.
Marcy?
Well, wait a minute. What's under there? What's under there?
What's under me? It's the cat.
What's under? No, what's under there?
Are you kidding me?
What's under
Fucking
there?
what's this?
Huh?
Is this a bit?
that? Oh,
I was
my
trying to
God.
get. My son's been doing this
Scared
joke
me.
where he does that to me. No, I'm sorry.
It's a cat.
My son has been trying to do it. He does this joke to me. He goes, "What's under there?" And I go, "Underwear." And he goes, "I got you to say underwear."
Look at this menacing
guys didn't bite.
Zoomer.
What are
Masked
you wearing
up.
what's the mask all about?
It kind of looks like Neil
Oh,
Young.
it's COVID's still kind of a big thing here in Idaho, so I mask up.
Are you alone in your house?
Oh yeah, no, I am, but I mask up even here because you never know, Could be someone in the walls, could be someone just out the door.
I got to break it to you. You kind of do know.
Yeah, I think you're good.
Well,
No,
I mean, most people know generally. Some people, but I don't. So
Okay,
I really
all right.
would appreciate if you. Yeah. I mean,
I get it.
we all got our things that we do.
It's all right, man. It's all right. What's up?
You doing
So I
bits or
actually
what?
had a
What is
question
this?
about so it's not a joke.
Yeah.
It's not a joke, but it is a question about Joker too. Joker too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mark, are you in Joker 2?
No, I don't know. I didn't know. I don't know how they could have reprised that part that I had.
Well, I was thinking it's a musical, right? And
Yeah.
you sing. It's a musical. You sing. You could
Look,
have had a big
I
role.
could have reached out to Todd Phillips, like, hey, bro, you got a 2-line bit for me to do?
You don't ask those questions.
Yeah.
It's
I love
very
that, man.
unprofessional.
it just could be a good song about how about the kind of the events of, I mean, I'm not going to spoil the first movie, like what happened to Rob De Niro at the end, but you could be like kind of opining, like sad about
No, I agree with you. I agree with
sad
you.
about your boss.
Is Robert
ready.
De Niro in Joker too?
I was locked in. No, De Niro
he
got
gets
his head
killed.
blown out.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's a prequel.
Yeah. It could be a prequel.
Yeah.
And
well,
see, if it was a prequel, then we could trace your character's origin story. And then that could be the whole prequel.
This Robert De Niro's got to slow down though. He can't do all these movies he's being offered.
he's got 12 kids. He's
I know he's got to do it.
He's got a legacy thing.
Did you have him on the show? All right, thank you.
Joker.
Thanks, buddy. Yeah. I've never had him on the show. I don't know why. I mean, he seems to want to talk now. There was a period there where he wasn't talking. Yeah. But now he seems to be.
I wonder if you'd get anything out of him, or if it would be the sort of the.
No, I think
Ben Kingsley.
The older De Niro. It's interesting because I was talking to Chastain, Jessica.
Yeah. Jesse.
It's interesting what happens to these method guys. Like either they still got the juice, or they just become this collection of ticks.
Yeah.
That they kind of fall into. But De Niro, all of them, the two of them, I guess, really primary ones, Pacino and De Niro, can still do it.
Sure.
And it's sort of like interesting, but he seems to be talking now, and I think I could get something out of him. I just don't think it's timed out properly. I had a funny thing happen. You probably know that story. I've told it on set of The Joker. It was just so funny that when I did the scene with him.
I did. I think yes.
Where
Tell me
like I don't, because of the podcast, I don't get as nervous as one should.
Right.
Because they're all just people, and I get on set,
Yeah.
and I've got my lines.
And you've been asked to do this. That's the other thing to remember is that you're not asking to do this. You've been asked.
Yeah. Todd reached out to me. And I'm like, yeah, of course. Why wouldn't and people got on me because I'm so weirdly anti-comic book movie, and I just ate a bunch of fucking crow because of that. So I started, and I started going, Marvel I have a problem with. DC's okay, DC but it really comes down to what am I going to say no to a scene with De Niro?
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, you're all jacked up. When you've only got a little part. I just have to temper my intensity. But the first run, depending, I'm jacked up. I play his producer in these two scenes, and I meet De Niro and Todd's there, and he was on. It was the day though. It was the day that they found a bomb at his office. You remember when there was those 3 bombs that were planted? One at
there were his last 3 movies. Oh,
relax,
please.
But it was big news. It didn't turn out to be a real bomb, but he was handling it very well. He travels on the set. You know how most people have a trailer. Yeah. He's literally got this traveling bunker that he parks out there. It's like a house.
Yeah.
So we get into it, and Todd's like, "Why don't we just try one?" Right? And it's a walk and talk where I'm just doing small talk with him. And we get set up and we're about to start walking and it's action and I'm in it, right? And I fucking do the scene and I cut. And then I'm like, oh, okay. And then I see De Niro, he walks back to his chair. And then he walks over to Todd. And then he walks back to his chair. And then Todd walks up to me. and he goes, hey, you're coming in a little hot. He's your boss. I'm like, right, got it.
Yeah.
But De Niro is a pro.
He didn't say guy. De Niro's going up to the director. Who the fuck? Where did they get this fucking guy from, huh?
Yeah. But what sadly what you remember is if I were to go up to De Niro, with a familiarity, we did that. How many guys has he done 2 lines with?
Yeah.
In his career,
so many.
Right?
Yeah.
But it was a good experience.
I had a similar experience. I don't know if I told this. I got cast on The Conners, which is Did I tell this whole story? Maybe. But I got just offered this little part. And it was like, okay, sure. I've never done, I don't watch that show. I don't really have respect for sitcoms, that format. It's not my thing. But I'll do it as a job and I'm not, whatever.
With that famous Tim bite.
Yeah. But no, I know Laurie Metcalf, and so she's lovely. I was like, this is a historical show almost.
Sure. However, you got to rationalize it.
And Roseanne Barr's nowhere to be seen. Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
But I'm reading this script. I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna bring to this.
Right.
I don't think this
That's
is
the
really
thing about sitcoms in general.
Yeah. This isn't really for me, but I'm gonna do my best. So I go to this blocking rehearsal, and I'm just kind of reading the lines because the scripts keep changing, and everybody else is just kind of on book, hitting their marks. And we're just trying to figure shit out.
Yeah.
And I do my little thing, and the director comes up to me and he goes, Yeah, just a note from the producers. They just wonder if you could do it a little quirkier, like you did in your audition. Mark. I didn't audition.
They got the wrong guy.
They got the wrong guy. They don't know what they're looking at. Like, and I say, I don't really know because first of all, quirkier. I don't fucking do quirk.
Yeah.
I do it on my show. But I go. I'm sorry. I didn't audition. I just got offered this part. That's why I'm here. You know. Yeah. If I auditioned, I wouldn't have gotten the part.
Because I'm quirkless.
Yeah, I'm quirkless. Anyways, I got fired that night.
You did?
Yeah. I got let go. I did. It was a very nice, polite, like,
was it
hey,
a quirky
this is
firing?
Yeah.
Hey, what's up? Guess what?
I got something kind of weird to say.
You're fired.
You're not gonna kind of like do the part.
That's quirky.
That is kind of weird.
That's quirky how you
kind
just
of
did
funky.
that.
Anyways.
You know what? You're fired,
So
bud.
there's a lot of, like when I'm in sort of the same boat you are in, where I get cast in things, and they're usually by people who are just fans, and But like I'm not this guy who's sitting on a stack of scripts,
No, I could never
deciding what I'm going to do.
Yeah,
next.
that's why we weren't actors. I mean, I never had an agent. Like I think I had a series of agents that were just doing favors for my manager at the time, and I would tank an audition, and then I'd never hear from him.
Yeah.
But like you'd go in and you'd see everybody you've ever seen on television waiting to do the thing. I'm like, why am I even here?
Yeah.
I can't do this thing. I don't know. Because literally, I don't remember how someone put it. But, you know, when you do your own thing and it's specific, you know, to be brought in for a sitcom and you read the writing sometimes, you're like, this is like, you're asking me to just poop out of my mouth.
Or speak a different language.
Totally.
Yeah.
That's a nicer way to put it. But
that's a more intelligent way to
sure.
say it.
But like I never got cast in any of that shit. I remember there was one audition. I just like there's moments in my life that come back to me where like I don't know what I was thinking or what I was doing, but I went in I got a call back for the studio. You know, it was a big deal for some sitcom. It was a sitcom based. It was behind the scenes when they were doing that kind of stuff at a music network. It was all placed.
All right, like a Studio 60 on the Central,
something like that, right?
Yeah.
Like it was. I think it all came out of Larry Sanders in a way, right?
Right.
But so this guy was like this volatile, you know, producer or something. This character, and I was brought back for this callback, and it was all the producers and the network. It was at the TV. It was at like it was at Disney or somewhere. In a big office. And I'm waiting with the guy with the not the other guy from Bosom Buddies, not Tom Hanks, but the other guy.
Peter Scolari.
Yeah. You know,
Wow.
he's sitting there holding court with a bunch of actors on giving advice. And I'm like out of my mind. I'm still fucking on drugs and stuff probably. And the woman who's the casting director, she's like, all right, when you go in there, just don't hold back. You know, this guy's an angry guy. And I went in there and I just I literally let go of my entire childhood. All the anger that had built up in me, and I was frothing.
Were you doing the lines? Or were you
I think so, but they were
improvising?
kind of they were getting lost in my rage.
Yeah.
And I just I'm just fucking seething and letting this all go.
Yeah.
And I finish, and the look of shock on everyone's face, sort of like, what, do we need to call security?
Right.
What just happened here? And the weird,
not in a good way.
No, not in the concern of the casting agent. Like, okay, you know, and I guess I didn't nail the type of anger they were looking for.
Right.
It was kind of unhinged.
Have you ever done any like inner child work on your own, like speaking to your inner child as a like a 6-year-old, 5-year-old kind of thing?
I don't think I've ever been
Parenting
guided
yourself?
in that direction in the therapies that I've done in my life. But I do find that, in my quieter moments, I'm probably, about 16.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah, emotionally.
Okay,
I don't think.
that makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, I've done different pieces come in as time goes on, but I've sort of committed to this idea that sort of well, there's no fixing a lot of this.
Right.
It's getting a little late in the game.
Yeah, people don't change.
And but they do.
Yeah.
You can make choices.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not whether people change or not. It's whether you're able to consciously make different choices.
Right. That's the thing, to notice it when it's happening. and
Right,
then-
it's a
and
cognitive
then
thing.
It takes
It's
time.
it's just you can't change those neural pathways
Right.
by making different decisions. But there's a core thing that's I used to do a joke about that. About as you get older, when you go to a therapist, you know why you're going.
Yeah.
You're not just like, what do I got to go for? I guess I'll go. But basically, when you get older, you can sit there and have a conversation with them like, look, I know there's a lot of things we're not going to be able to unfuck.
Right.
So if we can, just tweak the stuff that I can do.
All right, can I get another Zoomer or a caller? Because I just want to engage.
Salam alaikum.
And people are so happy to talk to you, by the way.
Oh, yeah?
I think they are. I think they are.
Dave.
That last guy, I think, was a little.
They are.
He's out there. She's
She's
back.
No, we're not talking.
Wait.
That's,
Boom, 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 ba ba ba, boom, boom, boom.
Dave Matthews asked me.
Is this a caller?
Dave. No,
Dave. You're singing. Wake
Hey,
up.
Tim, it's Dave. Cool, buddy. How's it going?
Oh, this energy I
Come
do not
on,
care
give me
for.
some of that energy. How's everybody doing?
Yeah, I'm playing along.
All right, play along. Where are you calling from?
Good
Let's see if we can
morning,
let's see if we can bring this guy back down to earth.
Okay, thank you.
All right,
He's
Dave,
doing a morning radio
I've
thing
been
from
up in
his
the
house.
ceiling.
Dave, where are you calling from? Are you doing your
I've
own
been
show?
wheeling around the ceiling fan. Wheeling around my ceiling fan. I just wanted to talk to you guys about health today. Is that all right with you guys?
Yeah, if you can
Health
come
and
back
aging.
down. Yes. If you
Is
can
it a
take-
question about how to get off meth?
Yeah, really. Can you come back down to earth and stop doing bits and
You
talk
got that
to us
Nazi meth?
The beetle meth.
Apologies, Tim. Apologies. I'm ready to talk.
Okay,
That sounds better.
Hey,
He's
so,
still got the intensity. I'm ready to talk. I've compressed it.
give it to me.
guess what? I'm here to rain on. Oh, first off, great show. Thanks for having me on in the second half of the show because I got some hot takes for you guys. I don't know how well this is going to play to nearly half your audience.
So
a
far,
quarter
not
to
great.
half of-
No.
Anyway.
No, everyone's waiting
Okay,
with
so I'll
bated
get right-
breath for the next thing you're going to say. Go ahead.
Soy is evil and poisonous.
Soy.
And should not be consumed by humans.
I've heard that before.
So
Okay.
get this.
Incorrect.
And then Tim, you were making black beans. Dude, this sucks. All I ate was Chipotle for years with the black beans in there. But guess what? Black beans are actually not real food. They're bad for your stomach. Can you believe this?
No, I don't believe either.
I've heard
of
the
these
soy thing before. It has something. It always ends up with man boobs, right?
It's some
It's
estrogen
estrogen
thing.
thing. Yeah.
Anti-soy boys.
This
things.
guy's
What about
trolling.
what
He
about
cannot be
5G?
serious.
What about 5G? Is that bad for you?
I mean, it probably, but you have to live with 5G. You don't have to eat soy. So let me just get this out. So
This show just can't be about
George
talking about
Washington
numbers.
Carver.
Yeah. Peanuts.
George Washington Carver was a famous person.
Yeah.
And he
Peanuts.
was an agriculture man. And
Yeah.
basically
He's an
his
agriculture
claim
man.
to fame was he introduced soybean as an agricultural alternative to industrial textiles and hemp. Anyway, I'm saying this all for the point of saying even George Washington Carver himself said that these soybeans are meant for like textile mills. They're not meant to be eaten.
You know what's so weird
you
though?
can Google any of this.
Yeah. You know what's so weird is that I got. Do you remember? Did you live in New York? You did for
Yeah,
a
I
while.
did, yeah.
Do you remember Angelica Kitchen on
Yeah.
12th Street? I loved it.
Yeah.
Someone because I'm doing the vegan thing. I got the macro cook. I got the cookbook, which I
Yeah.
think is out of print,
Uh-huh.
and it's old school kind of hippie macro food.
Right.
And a lot of it, there's a lot of soy milk in it, and I haven't drank because soy milk's sort of out of rotation.
You just kind of moved on to almond milk. And
Yeah,
then
yeah,
you
it's
move on
gone.
to oat milk.
Right,
Yeah.
so I went and got a carton of Eden soy,
Uh-huh.
the kind of original hippie
Yeah,
soy milk,
yeah.
and it was so good.
Really?
I know the
soy
guy's
milk
going to have
guy.
a problem
So
with it.
Matt,
I'm a soy milk guy.
how
Are
are
you?
you? What
Yeah,
cup?
it's
What
great.
cup bra do you wear?
Yeah, exactly.
See.
How big are your balls now?
Tiny, shriveled.
So this guy's talking nonsense. I mean, listen, there's so
I
much
think it
soy.
depends on your
what's
body.
going
Some
on,
people.
Well, yeah, and you
don't
guys do an
cook
awful lot of
soy.
it.
No,
It's
that's bullshit.
digestible.
Big Meat is telling him lies,
Yeah.
and soy goes back thousands of years in the Chinese.
Oat milk is where
Soy's
it's at,
great
though.
for you.
What about edamame? Are we out? Is that out?
It's great for you.
Yeah,
High
it's really good.
protein.
That's
low
soy.
fat.
Edamame is one of the great.
Go ahead.
Sorry, edamame, obviously, one of the greatest things you can get at your local sushi restaurant. But guess what? You may as well just eat like shit and rocks off of the ground because that soybean edamame
You know what? They have that at my
does
sushi
nothing
restaurant.
for you.
Shit and rocks.
Yeah,
Edda,
the shit and
Shit
rock
and
roll.
rocks off of the ground, exactly.
All right.
Edda.
Well, listen, this seems
So
like
here's
you're.
another
This seems
one.
like you're
Vic,
cuckoo.
Vic mentioned oat milk. I love you guys. I'm just doing this out of love. Oats were invented mostly for
Invented.
horses to eat.
Yeah.
This is a
Oat milk
horse
is bad.
thing.
Oat milk, they put more fat.
And
Oh,
basically,
wow.
they Quaker Oats comes along in the 20s or wherever, 20s or 30s, and then Quaker Oats says, "Oh, let's make some money selling this horse food
to humans, guess what? Everyone knows oatmeal raisin cookies.
All right, listen, let me ask you this. What do you
He's
fucking
trolling,
eat every
and it's
day,
not that
asshole?
funny.
Yeah. What do you eat, buddy?
Hey, Tim, how much time you got? But hey, so
No, how about just
here's my
breakfast? How about
alternative.
just breakfast?
Hemp milk. Hemp milk.
Are you wearing a hemp shirt?
So what are you
That's
going to
the
do when
only
you
one.
read the latest blog that says hemp milk's no good for you? Because that's coming down the pike.
I bet you all the money in the world it's not, Tim. I'm sorry to say, but hemp milk is perfect. And then guess
It tastes weird. It's got a weird aftertaste.
Hemp milk is perfect.
I don't like hemp milk.
I should have guessed this was a hemp head. You know what I mean? You know that was coming. What about cow's milk?
Cow's milk is got to be worse than soy, and it's got to be worse than oat milk, because do you know the number one ingredient in cow's milk?
Yeah,
Who can guess?
milk.
The number one most prevalent.
Antibiotics.
Piss.
It's sugar.
Oh.
It's sugar.
They don't add sugar to milk,
Hey,
do they?
let me ask you something, buddy. Do you have a large or a small social circle?
Hey, I'm a little crazy. I
No.
alienate my friends and family with my no. But seriously, I'm just here to spread health. So I actually called a couple years ago.
The way you
My
say
last-
spread health sounds like it's like a disease. That health is a disease.
Well, I'm going to show you how to eject. Thanks, man. I appreciate your help. Good
Next
talking to
caller.
you. Good luck with
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, no, I can handle
All
it.
right, peace out, guys. See you.
I'm sort of dangling him out there.
I had enough. I'm sorry.
I had enough
hijacked
about
it.
10 seconds in. but-
That went on so long.
Kind of came
But
around.
the fucking sad thing about it is I'm like, I'm going to try hemp milk again.
All right, who's your white whale out there? We haven't gotten De Niro.
I don't really think of him as a white whale.
No,
I don't
I know,
understand why.
Is there somebody out?
Well, I don't know why Albert Brooks won't come on. And your buddy Tim Robinson knows that I want to talk to him, but he doesn't even want to.
He's blowing you off. He's a pretty normal, nice guy.
I think that might be why he doesn't want to do it. Like,
Yeah.
because
well, that's how I was with you originally.
Yeah.
Me and Eric were like, we're not doing that show. Fuck that. We're not going to give away this trade
Well, why be
secret.
human when we've got this thing going?
Yeah, I mean,
No, I get it.
I also felt like back then we didn't have much there's not much we wanted to say, or we didn't feel like we wanted to get into it.
Well, the weird thing about you guys, like for me, like when I finally sort of locked into it and got the what was going on, like I got kind of like obsessed with the different formats of what you were, using to do this thing you were doing.
Yeah.
Like there was something that I thought was, pretty brilliant. Even though like I wasn't looking at it like, a 15-year-old who's like, that shit was crazy.
Yeah. I mean, if I was you and I was a generation, maybe, no, we're not, I would say we're about a,
I all of a sudden got older than everybody. There was a point when everyone was the same age, and now
but I would have
I'm
looked
60,
at
everyone's 40.
I would have looked at our shit and just been like, fuck off, you two.
No, I got it. But I was looking at the art of it.
Yeah.
I wasn't looking at the goof of it. I have a hard time assessing tone sometimes. Yeah.
Would you interview Trump?
Nah, not unless he
like they came to you and be like,
no, not now.
Trump wants
we had to have a
sit
policy
down.
on it.
What a terrible question to ask.
The policy during this presidency was that we would have him if he would do it like Obama did it, which was
come to you.
Yeah, come to me, but also, Obama didn't have final say. We did.
Right.
And, he didn't approve questions. It was all us. Like he had that kind of confidence.
Yeah.
So like and also you want to get involved with that Trump thing?
Yeah. No.
I mean, like if he said, yeah, we'll do it on your rules, and then I put something out, he's like, this fucking guy, forever, for the rest of my life. No, so I wouldn't do it now that he's not president.
Right. But you would have if
Well, we had to. It was like we had the fair play doctrine in place.
For sure. Trying to think of who else. Who else?
Oh, Albert Brooks. I would like to talk
Brooks.
to.
I had dinner with him. Did you ever meet him?
Yeah, I've met him a few times.
Yeah.
But I think they're doing a documentary. I think Reiner allowed him to do a documentary. Yeah, so that'll be good. But like I've always wanted to hang out with him. He was so funny, man. I've met him a few times. Like at the one at the Gary Shandling's memorial. It was which was a great show.
Yeah.
Kevin Nealon had never been funnier than at Gary Shandling's memorial.
He's very fucking funny.
He's very funny. Underrated, I think.
I agree.
But I just remember everyone was there. I was sitting next to Tom Petty at that thing, and he looked so fragile. almost like a old lady, but he's a very nice
Was he
guy.
sick?
Yeah, I think he was always a little
He
sick.
was getting sicker.
Well, I think he has a drug issue, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, so everyone's leaving the memorial, and I just felt these two hands like from behind grab me shoulders. I turn around and it's Albert in a golf hat. He goes, "Let's do it now."
You should have grabbed your phone and just did it.
I know.
What about Mel?
Mel Brooks?
I did him.
Yeah. What about? Wait, I had one and it just flew out of my head.
What about Brendan Fraser?
I did him.
As far as white whales.
I just did him. It was heavy. It's heavy.
He seems to be. This seems like he's got all the emotions right here.
It's heavy.
Right on the.
It was heavy. Yeah, it was like it was like had to be carefully navigated.
Right. Is it kind of like? Are you thinking like those guys got a lot going on?
Well, I mean, I
don't know how
think
to say
that
that
like
the
his
right way.
life, like that movie and his performance in it, and then sort of having to show up in support of that performance, he stayed pretty open. There was no way he could distance himself from that. So he made himself very emotionally available, and there's a lot of there's some trauma and shit there. So
Randy Newman.
I did him.
Yeah.
Did like 2 hours with that guy. I love that.
I had
guy.
him on the show.
Love him. He's
Love
great.
him.
Love
Love
him. The best.
Tim, who's your whale?
Marc Maron.
I'm here. We
Snagged
did
him
it.
in.
Jeremy Renner.
Close up shop.
Well, now that you got this whale, what's the next whale?
I don't know. The
Sir Paul
Christopher
McCartney.
Guest? You got Christopher Guest?
I never did.
No.
I don't know why.
He'd be a kind of a.
Oh, Maron.
I think he'd maybe be a bit of a snooze.
Maybe, but he's pretty funny, but he's not. But the funny is so, like he's probably got a little detachment from his funny thing.
Totally.
Like I imagine it's probably the guys that don't do it for a reason. Either they just don't feel like they're good at that format.
Yeah.
Or they don't want to talk about their whole
craft.
life.
Yeah.
Or the life. It's usually the life. They don't want to be personal.
Right.
I mean,
Steve Martin.
he just he's been pitched and he was willing to do it if we only talked about banjo. And I'm like, I'm not going to fucking talk about
Why?
that.
Yeah, throw that banjo away.
Man, I watched.
He's a good banjo player,
Yeah,
but
he
what am I
is.
going to do with banjo and Steve Martin, for an hour?
Get it? We got one.
Do you know how to play it?
I don't. I can just kind of.
I don't know how to play these. I love it. Got to get a tuner. They're all out of tune.
My guy that comes by every week is not. He's on vacation.
Is that true?
I watched on the plane the other day.
Yes.
It was just on YouTube. It didn't matter that I was on the plane, but it was Steve Martin's first stand-up special at the the Troubadour. Have you ever seen that?
I have, I think, yeah.
That is.
I saw him in concert when I was in junior high.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like when he was
The
just at
peak,
the
yeah.
peak.
Yeah.
This stuff at the Troubadour, it was the best. It just didn't stop. It was joke, and this character.
Yeah.
So fucking funny.
No, it's great.
Like it was like the first 20 minutes. Like we're gonna get the show started in a minute. It was like never
stopped.
Yeah,
it was great. But there was I talked to my producer about it. I'm like, well, we could have him in, but like the idea was like, sure, we can do the banjo thing, but I'm gonna talk about comedy. But I guess we didn't want to risk it, or they didn't want to risk it. I don't want to be there where like I start talking about comedy. He's like,
we talked about it.
But like I can talk about art. I can talk about a lot of things he's interested in. But it was after a certain point, it's like, fuck it. And I remember seeing him once. I was at some festival, maybe it was in Aspen or something, and I somehow or another managed to be sitting with Billy Connolly at breakfast. And I remember looking over and seeing Steve Martin eating breakfast by himself, and he looked like the vibe was so sad.
Yeah,
I couldn't even process it. I don't know if I was projecting.
Right.
But I imagine that there's probably some of that in there. I don't know.
Yeah,
he seems to be having a good time with Martin Short, though.
A little pretentious though, in those glasses he wears. Those, like,
Look at you.
Well, I mean, they're like these, like
look at
Mark.
Mark.
I know, but they're. Yeah,
I think
don't
he
know.
was always like that, though.
Yeah.
Like I think even when he was doing the stand-up, he was conscious of the character. He's conscious of the exercise. He knew what he was doing. I think he always had loftier aspirations. He was, he was a TV writer.
I watched his first.
I would do Paul Simon, but he's never come up.
He's never come up.
Yeah,
No.
I don't know why. That's a good question.
I would like you need to get Paul and Art together.
That would be my dream, or even just
that
Art.
would be so fun.
I've played venues where Art has performed, and not great stories.
Starting from the beginning.
From the
feels like
people
right
at the
thing
venue.
to do.
Here we
I
go.
started listening to Marc Maron's podcast, and I found him to be a little verbose for my taste.
Sadly, I think he's more like, "Can I get a sandwich?" I don't know that.
You bought that book?
I did.
Everything
so
is
good. It's
everything
amazing.
but luminous.
Yeah,
It's Art Garfunkel.
and it's like his journals and his diary entries, and he has
Well, he used to go down. Apparently, from what I heard back in the day, the myth was, or the story I got was that, he would go down to the St. Mark's Hotel on St. Mark Street, like daily. And he had a room there, and he would just sit there, smoke weed, and eat Caesar salads. That's
year
what
is
I
that?
heard.
Like in the 80s?
Yeah,
Like,
80s or 90s.
Wow.
Is that in the book?
I didn't get that far yet, but there's a list. 10 reasons why I respect my wife. And like number 2 is like.
I'll tell you something though. His Breakaway record.
It's great.
It's great.
Yes.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
His
He's
version
great. His
of
music's awesome.
what is it?
Blowing in the wind.
No, the song "Breakaway" is pretty fucking good, but he does a cover on there.
Wait, look at this.
Look at number 2.
Look he had developed his own font for the book. I'm not joking.
That's how he writes.
Yeah. There's a great clip that I love to watch. I watch this clip all the time. It's the 70s.
What is 3 billionaires are loyal to
that's
her?
like, what does that mean? Why?
Well, 2 now after that submarine thing.
Oh my goodness.
That guy's quick.
Yeah.
What's the latest on that? Sam, our breaking news reporter, do we have an update on the Titanic? As people watch the show to get...
One of the billionaire's sons, instead of like mourning his father, he went to a Blink-182 concert.
Yeah. That's
Wait,
true.
that's true.
That was one of his sons?
That's true.
For real?
Yeah.
So wait, you're telling
His
me...
stepson.
You're telling me, because that story was not told well, I have to tell you that.
Well, he wanted to hear that song. I miss you.
And you're an intern, Sam, and you must learn about storytelling from the great Tim Heidecker and the great Marc Maron. And Mark, you back me up on this.
Where are you?
It was
That's what he's
the
singing
younger
to his
people.
dad.
They talk in quickfade.
That's right. So what you're telling us is that one of the sons of the billionaire who's currently trapped underwater in this submarine looking at the
so
Titanic.
fucking hellish.
One of the billionaires, instead of, well, you say mourning. We don't know if this person's passed yet, but instead of sitting by the phone, they went to a Blink-182 show.
And they tweeted about it.
Tim, to listen to
the
this
tweet.
song.
Where are you?
I just want to know where.
I'm so sorry.
Can we get the guy who's begun work on the sort of one-act play of the events?
Oh, it's gonna happen.
So wait, this guy's tweet says, "My stepdad Hamish."
He's on a submarine that
Is it
lost
a
its
That's
way.
a stepdad, okay?
I'm devastated.
But coming to the San Diego show tonight. So guys, can you give me hope and cheer me up? Wow.
Makes it seem like he's in the band.
Yeah.
But look at the picture. He tweeted that picture of a little unmanned ocean craft taking
and the
pictures of the
Titanic.
Titanic.
So I wanted an update on what this is going on with
That's
the submarine,
crazy.
not with the stepson.
How many hours are we at now? It got to be 25.
It's got to be close.
Wait,
That's
wait a
depressing.
minute. Hold on. Stop the press. So Brian's Twitter handle is AudioGuy182.
It's got to be a goof.
Does that mean he's like maybe he's the sound guy, the monitor guy?
It can't be real.
Yeah, it's a goof.
Wait, what's a goof?
This Brian
thing.
guy. I'm
The
looking
whole
at
thing?
his Twitter.
Sam?
Ah, okay.
What did you do to us here? You just... No, but I want to know just quickly, have they found it? Or they're still looking?
They heard knocking yesterday. I heard.
Yeah. Heard some sounds.
Yeah, they haven't found it.
Oh God.
Can you
it's
think of any
fucking
way worse to go? What's the worst way to go? Is that the worst way to go?
It's one of them.
It's got to be up there on the list.
It's like, but it's interesting how these stories, like this type of story, is so compelling and kind of grips the world. It's like, did you ever see that movie, the Billy Wilder movie, Ace in the Hole, with Kirk Douglas?
No, love to see
It's
it.
fucking great. There's another. It's also called another name, but Ace in the Hole. I think it's around. It's a very dark movie about a guy who gets trapped in a cave, a mine, and Kirk Douglas is this reporter that's, kind of a ne'er-do-well reporter who finds himself in New Mexico, and he locks into this story, and he figures out a way to divert the rescue team to do the most complicated rescue possible to keep the story alive.
Oh my God, that's horrible.
It's a pretty great movie. Kirk Douglas is kind of
It's also known as The Big Carnival.
The Big Carnival, yeah.
Did you
it's
see
a great movie.
13 Lives about the Thai cave divers?
No. Oh wait.
Great movie. You know the story with the kids trapped in the caves?
Yeah.
Elon Musk fucking sends that shit about the guy being a pedophile. Fucking asshole. But that's a great movie.
Okay, I'll check
Ronnie
it out.
Howard directed it.
feel like I might have seen it.
Well, how'd they get the kids out? Wasn't there like what'd they give them? It was like,
you won't believe that this is a true story. But there's 13 kids trapped in this cave.
Because the tide came up?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
the monsoon
Yeah.
season came in. They just this is the last resort. They're like, this is the only thing that's going to work. We're going to swim a 3-hour scuba swim through these channels and caves, get there, anesthetize the kids one at a time, put them in scuba gear and swim them out one at a time.
but wasn't it like LSD or they gave them some
it was like
Oh,
Yeah, that was the first thing they thought of. Is that the only way we can do this if these kids are tripping balls?
We wanted to do this forever.
That'll put them out.
But that's the only way they could figure out.
There's no reason
And
to
the
do
guy
that.
that did it was like, "This is insanity. It's not going to work. These kids we're going to kill these kids." But it did work, and they got them out one at a time by putting them under.
Getting choked up just
I
hearing
know.
about it.
It's a beautiful movie. Viggo Mortensen and the other guy.
Yeah.
Colin Farrell.
Oh yeah,
We should talk to Colin Farrell.
I'd talk to Colin Farrell. I don't know why that hasn't happened. A lot of times they're just not here.
Sure.
It's hard to get them.
Who won the soccer game though?
Which one?
That the boys were playing.
All right, Doug, you're excused.
My dream guest for you is Donovan, because he Donovan, right?
Yeah.
He claims so many stories in rock and roll history, and he claims he wrote this for the Beatles and taught Paul this, and he's told these stories over and over and over
you want
again.
Mark to like.
It's
I
always
just want him to be like,
he's got the 2 songs.
Yeah,
What else is he going to do?
But he's got some good albums. I love Donovan, but I don't know. That'd be like.
What about this Roger Waters
historic.
though? What are we going to do about him? He seems to be.
I kind of like kept him off of the Palestinian thing for the time he was with me, but he got very comfortable with me, and it was kind of interesting. He's got a very deep.
He's very angry.
He's got a deep daddy chip on his shoulder.
Yeah.
And but he did get political. He read this very lengthy poem at the end of that podcast. Well, it's kind of interesting because you're going to let him do it, but it was about Bush, and it was about
Right.
It was like the kind of like just a total lefty political poem rant, and I just let him read it.
Well, it's funny when these guys are like, like Doug was saying, you listen to the RFK Jr. interview with
that
Rogan.
guy is out of his mind.
He's out of his mind. But then every once in a while, he like steers into some of the stuff that we would all agree with.
But then he also goes.
Then he
far
says
off the
that like
rails.
Wi-Fi
But he was at Air
causes
America.
cancer.
He's been out of his mind forever.
But let's take another call, and then we have to wrap it up.
Pink Floyd was so good, though. It's the funny.
I can't not listen to Pink Floyd.
The amazing thing about Waters is that he said basically, he's like, we're like the biggest rock band in the world, but no one can recognize us, and it's kind of true.
Yeah.
I mean, I could identify
Well, they weren't on
Gilmore.
the covers of their. They were never on the cover
Right.
of their albums.
Yeah.
That's probably part of it. Couple more calls.
Valerie the Candlemaker.
Valerie the Candlemaker.
My dog friend.
Yeah, this is a friend of the
Is
show.
that who done it?
Anti-PC is really what I'm all about.
Is that where you make the
Okay, I
candles? It
promise-
looks like you make the candles in there.
It is.
Oh.
I do.
We have some of your candles, don't we? I hope
they're
these are
very
yours.
nice.
Yeah.
I think you do from last year. I sent
Vacation
some.
libation.
And
I think I have one
Aw,
of those.
that's
Smell?
so nice.
Have you ever sent me one of these? Maybe someone gave me one.
I think you brought
Oh
some
my
on
god,
tour.
I have not
Did you?
sent you any, but I would be happy to.
Here,
I believe I got some in person.
my girlfriend likes candles.
Yeah, Vic,
How
I
long's this
did
girlfriend
bring
situation?
some on tour.
I remember.
Couple
Yes,
years, yeah.
Still have them. Love the Dead Man's Toes.
Oh, good.
Jessica
I
Chastain?
was just wondering.
I wish.
That's your girlfriend?
I wish.
One of my favorite interviews you've done recently was with Austin Butler, just because I was so surprised by it.
Yeah.
Just by like the connection that y'all had. And I was just wondering who are some people that you were like pleasantly surprised by that you didn't really think you would be able to like connect with a lot.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean that happens a lot because you never know because I'm only going on whatever idea I have of them in my head, and like with some guy like him, like going into it, he's not that old, he doesn't have a lot of experience, but what I locked into was his performance in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Because I thought that was one of the funniest scenes in motion
What scene
picture.
is that? I mean,
Where-
this is
where-
the Elvis
Good.
guy, right?
Right. Well, he
Okay.
was Tex. He was in that scene with Brad Pitt where he's
Yeah.
like, I know you. It's like, I am Satan. It's like, what's your name? It's like,
Yeah,
I am.
yeah.
It's like, nah, it was dumber than that.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
That's my favorite sequence in that movie.
It's
is the
so
whole-
funny, dude. And
So good.
so like, I didn't really know, I knew that he had a very polite disposition. But you know, it just turns out that there were some things that I locked into that like generated, you know, an authenticity there, like the horseback riding thing, and then we got into his past. So I find that it happens more so than not that I'm always surprised. I mean, there's been people where I'm like, I could be friends with that guy, and then you realize like, dude, what are you gonna just? Hey, dude, do you mind if I text? And hang, you know,
that's the thing that happens on these movies or these shows. You do these things, it becomes this really close bonding experience where you feel very connected to these people.
And then it's done.
And then it's done, and everyone goes their own
But
way.
like, there's people that I connected with that I didn't anticipate connecting with. Like Tracy Letts is like the greatest, and we actually became friends for a while.
Tracy Letts?
Tracy Letts is the guy. He wrote Osage County. He wrote that Pulitzer Prize winning play.
Yes.
And he was in. He acts a lot. He's a playwright.
Okay.
But he's out of Chicago.
Right.
But like you would know him. He played Henry Ford in Ford and Ferrari. He's that guy. He was in that show with.
He's a character actor.
He's a character
Jessica
actor.
Parker's show.
Yeah.
Sex and the City?
He was Divorce. He was great in that. He's a great actor.
Okay.
But he's a great playwright, and he's like
a great guy.
Yeah, he's just you know, we had, I don't know, like even the William Shatner thing. I was surprised that we got along so well. But I'm wired.
Wait, hold on. These guys got the best Shatner drops. But go ahead.
Oh yeah,
they're
but it happens. It happens a lot where I'm sort of surprised that that it's happening. You know, I can't remember specifically ones.
How crazy is Shatner being? What is he? 90?
92. He shows up in his own car. He's like, hey, right, he's driving. You know.
Somebody was telling me because he did this show for Fox, this Stars on Mars. It's like a reality show where these famous people pretend to be in a Mars simulation. Fucking William Shatner goes down to Australia to be the host of the show, and it's like probably a couple weeks of shooting in a soundstage. But my friend who was doing it was like, yeah, fucking Shatner's like flies it down to Australia, gets picked up at the airport, goes to the studio, like 92-year-old man. Like my grandfather, as an 80-year-old man when he died, he's not going to Australia.
He's a worker, that guy.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think of other
good.
people. I'm trying to think about other people where like a lot of comics, there's a shorthand there that, that it's a lot easier to sort of get in. But I was surprised by that Austin Butler.
Live long.
I interviewed D'Elia,
Post?
years ago. No, not Post.
He's done, right? But he's not.
I kind of. I mean, he's more done than the other ones.
He's still out there. He's still going.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about all those guys is that, if they either, a lot of them will double down on their position and denial.
Right.
And because of that, they will forever have the love of the meatheads as long as they don't ever apologize.
Right. You can't.
So as a business decision, they're like, all right, well, I'm a monster to that half of the world.
Right.
The progressive world, the people with feelings and a sense of justice.
Empathy.
That's the way to be, right there.
But the Austin Butler thing, it surprised me too, because I loosened him up and he was kind of genuine. And he was honest about not being able to shake the accent, and he had
that's
some
true.
Yeah.
Oh,
but thanks for the question. I wish I had more specific.
Must get kind of hard,
No, thank you.
Yeah.
I think Corey Feldman would make a cool interview too, because he's like one of my favorite actors as like a child.
We're not at a WTF brainstorm.
I know you don't give a shit, but
look at the face he made.
I find myself concerned about him though. I think
it's not a funny thing, but like he almost has like a cult with like all these women living with him. He calls them Corey's angels.
Yeah, there's something like
I don't know.
Something broke in that guy's brain, and it's like I don't know that it would go well. I remember him being around when I was a doorman at the Comedy Store. And all fucked up on coke with Kennison.
Oh, Jesus.
Like that Corey would show up and I was like, you're the kid, and I just remember that I had a moment with Corey Feldman when I was, submerged in coke and hanging out at the Comedy Store. And we were up at the house that I was living in that Mitzi owned. And it was just always like, a drug shit show up there. And I remember Corey Feldman was hanging around occasionally, celebrities would come through. And he came up to me and he's like, hey man, it's like, what do you think these pills are? And he had like 3 pills in his hand. And I just took one of them and I just took it. And he was like, oh my God, you don't even like, and I think I might have been the one that set him going.
Right.
Like,
You're like,
but I knew what's the worst it could be. There was no fentanyl then. Like the worst it could happen wouldn't last forever.
Right.
So I figured
when you're in that world, do you feel at home in that world? Or
Which
do you,
world?
like the Mitzi drug den, like, do you feel at that time? Did you feel comfortable and at home in that world, or did
I felt
you feel
like I
you're
was
losing
like,
your mind?
well, no, I actually was. I did achieve cocaine psychosis. So like I was sort of lost in some kind of weird mystical conspiracy that I had built in my brain.
Right.
But I felt like, I was somehow, belonged at the store, that it was part of me, that the history of Hollywood. I had this very elaborate
Grandiose,
thing.
right.
Yeah, because my brain broke. So like, was I at home in that? At the time I was.
Yeah.
Because it was sort of like, let's do it, man.
Yeah,
And but then it all broke down and I ended up, driving away in total fear, and giving away everything that, I didn't need.
You don't recommend it?
What, getting fucked up on drugs? I'm just so, I've been sober almost, I guess it's gonna be 24 years in August, but I'm just so thrilled that, to be involved with powders right now or pills of any kind, where the stakes are so high. I mean, because, the worst that could happen is you'd snort coke back then and be like, nah, this is cut with pancake mix,
right?
Or whatever. You just knew that it was a matter of, if you didn't get high, it was cut with something.
Right.
But it wasn't cut with something that was going to kill you.
All right, let's end there.
What?
It'd be a fun period to put
What
up.
I guess led you to get into drugs and stuff like that? Was it just personally you went to
the conversation for another
No,
time?
I'm just curious. I'm just curious about
Well,
how
for all my life when I was a kid,
what
that
led
my
you?
heroes were always kind of the fucked up guys.
Yeah.
Right.
Because still
Lenny Bruce?
sure, Lenny Bruce, as much as I could understand him in high school, but Keith Richards,
Right.
Bukowski, William Burroughs. As I got on in age and went to college, my heroes were never baseball players. It was always,
Degenerates.
drugs.
Was there also something that you wanted to numb though, inside you? Is that kind of
No, I don't think I was
No?
aware of that. I think I
Okay.
wanted to achieve a way of life.
Okay.
I think that it was not sort of I need this to be comfortable. I was never a great drinker. When I was in high school, I didn't like beer, so I'd always drink hard liquor. I'd always end up getting, throwing up.
Yeah.
I was always the burden on the friends.
Right.
It's what are we going to do with Maron? He's fucking in the car. Just leave him in the car. I remember one time they threw me out on a lawn next to a party they went to. And someone apparently came running into the party and said, there's a guy dead on the lawn next door. And they're like, fuck, we got to take Mark home, I guess. So, but when I found Coke, that was the best.
Yeah, right.
And then it just became a habit. I was fortunate that I still had
You're
the
an
part of my
addictive
brain.
personality.
Yeah, but I never went so far as to lose a piece of my soul, to make compromises that were so drastic in order to honor my addiction that I could not self-repair.
Right.
Somehow I had a line,
Even during those darkest days.
that I knew but I did lose my mind, and it took a couple of years to get back. But it was a very exciting place to be the paranoid hallucination part.
And to come through the other end and be
I did.
alive
It took
and-
me years to go back to the
and you're an
comedy store.
inspiration. Can I say that? Can I
Thanks,
just be
buddy.
honest with you? You're an
Yeah.
inspiration.
Thanks.
Looking at your life, looking at your health, looking at the career you've made for yourself.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I see it.
Thanks,
I don't know.
man.
I know.
And you too. You seem to be healthy and good.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
That's what I was.
You got it.
No.
Thanks for having me.
This was a blast. I hope you had fun.
I did. It was great.
No regrets.
No regrets.
If there are, you can text me privately about that.
I'll just text. Did I live up to the expectations?
There were no expectations. All right, everybody. That's the show today. Do we have anything to report?
See you tomorrow.
This is crazy.
See you tomorrow.
Tomorrow, we're banking some shows like you can appreciate. This band, King Gizzard.
Oh yeah, those guys are something.
They're
Lizard
some-
Wizard.
They
I've
asked to
listened
come
to
on
two
the
of their
show.
records. I'm like, all right, this is some deep
This is
nerd
prog,
shit.
Yeah, proggy. But I don't know them. They're going to come in. We're going to hang out.
Get those guitars tuned.
That's true. We got to get them tuned, Matt. Bring my tuner in. Mark, you don't want to promote anything. There's no reason to promote anything. But if
I'll
you
be
want
at
to,
Dynasty Typewriter a few times this month, working out shit in LA. You can go to WTFpod.com/tour to come see me. I have a podcast.
I'm on tour starting July 28th up in Monterey, but we're doing a warm-up show in LA at the Moroccan Club or whatever. That's just announced. Everything's on timheidecker.com/live.
And Mark's going to be in the audience for that.
Mark's going to be my special guest.
Am I coming?
I put on the thing because I don't know who's going to open up. I just said special guest.
Oh, really?
We'll figure it out.
Now, now the people that come, are they there for the music or are they there for the comic character?
They're there for both.
Okay.
We'll see.
Some are there for comics, some are there for
Well,
music.
Vic's in
I'll
the
be there
band.
for- yeah.
Vic's in the band, and what we find is they come for the comedy, but they stay for the music, and we win them over with the music.
Good.
There's a standing ovation at the end.
Is Eric okay?
He's great.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
He just eats now for a living?
He eats and goes to the bathroom. He's I have to reply to
He's
him.
a correspondent on Office
Yes,
Hours now.
he's been giving us ice cream reports. He's got a great book of food recipes. What do you call that? Cookbook?
Yeah, I like to cook a lot.
He knows where to go. He knows where to go in LA. If you ever need to get into a reservation, give him a call.
Okay, I'll take you up on that.
And I got to head to the airport because
now
I'm headed to Denver to do a show with the Flaming Lips and Eric Andre tomorrow.
I just got a text from Wayne Coyne. I don't want to drop names.
Come on. What? Are you going to write him back?
Yeah, he just sends me pictures of things. Usually himself in bubbles and things.
Would you
or his
tell-
kids.
Would you say my friend or a guy I know, Doug, is going to be playing with you tomorrow night? Treat him well. Be a nice.
Yeah.
Guy I just met.
You don't have to do that.
He's a good guy, Wayne.
All right, that we'll end with that.
Okay.
Wayne Coyne of the Flaming Lips is a good guy. You're getting that from Marc Maron.
What do you know about the Stress Factory?
What?
In
I'm trying to get
New
out
Jersey?
of here.
You have to catch a plane.
I know a
Vic.
lot about the Stress Factory.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay,
There's still
just
a
curious.
phone on the wall.
Do
The
they?
guy at the Stress Factory, Vinny Brandt, who owns the place, he's also a comic. And he would run, for some reason, he'd run videos of like car crashes before the show. And then there was a payphone,
That's
literally.
kinda funny.
There's a payphone literally on stage where you can,
Wow. Oh man. Well, Jim Brewer does
that's
the Stress
Brewer's
Factory
big
live.
spot. He's there
Got to
every
get
week.
Jim Brewer on. this show.
Anyone who came up in New York has played the Stress Factory and dealt with Vinny.
Thank you, everybody. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Things they would argue. I do not sing what I believe. I only give them fact. If they believe quite otherwise, it still will have impact. For truth is truth, and if they then decide to live with lies, that's their concern, not mine, my friend. They're free to fantasize.